let's roll.
Oh my god. I'm so washed up. First kill back. Oh my god. How do I live with so many crumbs in my life? Just avoid. Hello. Let's try this one more time. My hair, bro. I need a haircut. It looked like Annie, are you okay? Are you okay?
Let's roll.
Okay. Use the static crosshair. God, this fucking microphone stand needs to be way over here.
This one, dude.
Three and 3. What?
revenge bitch.
Again, I just got killed by Lockheed Martin. Lagging. Where are my bullets going? Ah, I forgot how fucking lame this game is. Perfect. Oh, my precision is so bad. It's horrible. What? I can't. I have no idea what's going on. What the fuck, bro?
Out in the street, they call it murder.
It's a good song, bro.
Ass. Okay, bro.
Did you know the FAMAS shoot faster in burst fire? Didn't know, huh?
What?
Yeah, you're right, dude. But honestly, you just gotta be faster.
No, I mean, hopping in DM is a bit retarded if I'm...
It's kind of cringe. I agree.
Shut the fuck
Who cares,
up.
buddy? Who cares? Who cares?
Oh, we care. We talk about it, so you shut the fuck up.
Okay, keep talking shit, motherfuckers.
I wasn't talking shit, I was saying
No, I
shut the
know, it's
fuck
part
up.
of, dude, it's part of the game, it's just
Fuck y'all,
cringe.
fuck y'all.
It's just cringe, you're cringe.
It's not your mom, right? man. Oh, fucking outline his whole body with tracers.
Fwah!
Love that, Bryce. I can't function.
That was my first game on with Oli.
Widow Willie?
Oh, the dryer. Or spinning washing. Yeah.
strategy in order to win the zero-sum game.
So how does that apply in the Middle East right now?
Right. So the United States is attacking Iran, and these two nation states have different strengths and weaknesses. So America has the world's greatest military. It has aerial supremacy. It has tremendous technology. It has unlimited funding. And so Iran is adopting an asymmetrical strategy of holding the global economy hostage, meaning that rather than attack the United States directly, which it cannot defeat directly, it is instead controlling the Strait of Hormuz, which is strangling the global economy, and it's attacking the GCC nations, the infrastructure of the GCC nations, in order to force Trump into the negotiating table. So that is the asymmetrical warfare of Iran.
You've also predicted that the US, you had 3 famous predictions in 2024, that Trump would get elected, that he
That was crazy insightful. So, weaker countries will engage in asymmetrical warfare. Okay, great. Good to know. All right. Thank you.
would start a war with Iran, and that he would lose a war with Iran. Based on what you've seen over the past month, do you still stand by that prediction?
Yes, I do. I think that after a month, I think that Iran clearly has the strategic advantage. And what I mean by that is that Iran is very clearly able to articulate its military objectives, and it has a very clear strategy of how to obtain these military objectives, and it is working very hard and very meticulously to obtain these objectives. This is the complete opposite of America, where Trump has failed to articulate an end goal. And right now, it seems that the administration, the Trump administration, is unable to articulate both a strategy and a purpose to the American public, which is causing most Americans to not support this war. It's also causing low soldier morale among the American forces.
What do you think happens next if/when
soldier morale
Iran
I didn't know that.
wins?
Right. So even though Iran has the advantage right now, we still have to remember that America is the world's greatest empire. It has a lot of resources. It has a lot of firepower still not used. So I think the next step in the escalation ladder is that Trump will send in ground forces. So over 5,000 Marines and soldiers have been dispatched to the Middle East. This is already on top of the 50,000 American soldiers already stationed in the Middle East. And most military analysts expect that the Americans will launch an amphibious assault in order to control the Strait of Hormuz. Now, there are several options available to the Americans in order to control the Strait of Hormuz. The first option is to control Karg Island, which is the oil depot of the Iranians. 90% of Iranians' oil exports depart from Karg Island. Then you have Qasim Island, which is just opposite the Strait of Hormuz. And then there's a naval base further down the coastline. And so these are the 3 options that the Americans have. And it is unclear which option the Americans will ultimately choose. But given the track record of the Marines, we can expect the Marines to have an early success. The problem with the strategy and the problem with America's overall strategy is what happens next? How do you maintain control over the territory that you've claimed? The reality is that the Iranians have been preparing this battle for about 20 years. They developed this very effective asymmetrical warfare strategy of using drones and ballistic missiles from afar, hidden in underground bases, to hit and strike American assets around the Middle East. It's almost like guerrilla warfare. And historically, a imperial power has had great difficulties in containing guerrilla warfare. Yeah. So unfortunately, the Americans don't have a long-term strategy of how to win this war. Trump is still hoping for a quick strike, a knockout punch, and he believes that the American Marines can deliver this knockout punch.
You have made a lot of predictions. Some have called you China's Nostradamus. How would you respond to those who say, sure, you guessed that Trump would win in 2024 and he'd go to war with Iran, but that wasn't based on geopolitical insights or game theory. People who follow American politics or world politics could have guessed that. I think I and many others were warning that Trump could win in 2024 and that he would escalate with Iran, as he did in his first term when he killed Qasem Soleimani.
Wow.
Right. So I think that if you've been following the news very closely, then it was actually pretty straightforward to make these three predictions, right? Because in Trump's first term, as you mentioned, Trump did have a history of escalating conflict with Iran. The biggest escalation was when Trump ordered the assassination of Qasem Soleimani. And quite frankly, America and Iran should have gone to war during that time. But because of the escalation efforts on both sides, we prevented World War III during that time. But Trump was under tremendous pressure from his allies and from his donors to start a conflict in the Middle East. So if Trump had won a second term, then he would have started the conflict. I was pretty confident that he would start the conflict if he had won in 2020. But fortunately, he lost. And so now the question then was, what is the likelihood that he would get a second term? Would he win in 2024? And then as I watched the news, it seemed pretty obvious to me that the Democrats were hopeless, that they were not delivering on their promises, that there were a lot of issues. For example, what was happening in Gaza, the war in Ukraine, that was making American voters disillusioned with the Democratic establishment. And so I thought that Trump would have a very good chance of winning in 2024. And if he won in 2024, then I think there's a very strong likelihood that he would attack Iran. And so all three predictions have panned out.
Wow.
Just on your predictions, I just want to be clear here. Nikki Haley was key to your prediction about Iran. You said Trump would pick her as his running mate, and as vice president, she would pressure Trump into war with Iran. She's a notorious hawk. But he didn't pick her. And his current vice president, J.D. Vance, is widely seen as a skeptic of this war. So you admit you got that wrong?
Yes, absolutely. So I was thinking of what Trump's electoral strategy would be in 2024. And I think that if he picked Nikki Haley, this would be a tremendous boost to his campaign, because Nikki Haley would be very popular among neocons in Washington, D.C. She would also be very popular among suburban white women. That was key to Biden's victory in 2020. So I made the prediction that he would pick Nikki Haley. But at the same time, I was not completely sure about it because I also felt that J.D. Vance also had a good opportunity to be selected. And I also said during my lecture, making the prediction that Nikki Haley would be his running mate, that depending on whether or not he picked Nikki Haley or J.D. Vance, this would determine how we can foresee or understand Trump's second term. And so if he had picked Nikki Haley, then he would have been he would have been fully committed into the neocon project of regime change throughout the Middle East, of supporting Israel, of establishing American imperial power throughout the world. He didn't pick Nikki Haley. Instead, he picked the complete opposite, who is J.D. Vance, who is America first, who has always been skeptical of American imperial overreach. But not only that, he also picked Tulsi Gabbard to be his director of national intelligence. And so these are the two major skeptics of this war in the Middle East. And what I will say about picking these two individuals is that it shows that Trump has an off-ramp strategy, where if this war goes sideways and the American public is up in arms and he's losing in the polls, then Trump may decide to pivot back to America first and have J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard elevated in the administration over individuals such as Marco Rubio and Peter Hegseth.
Wow.
So that, yeah.
I suspect he will blame Pete Hegseth if all of this goes sideways, as it is. Where does China fall into all of this? You're a Chinese Canadian. You're based in Beijing. China clearly stands to gain from a failed U.S. war with Iran. How much of your views are reflective of China's views, the Chinese government's views, the CCP's views?
Right. So the official Chinese Communist Party line is that China is committed to global peace and to global trade that benefits all. China wants a win-win globalized system in which people are trading peacefully and which everyone is committed to world peace. And so China has come out vocally criticizing both Iran and the United States. The United States for starting this war, but also Iran for attacking the GCC energy infrastructure. Remember that China relies heavily on Qatar liquefied natural gas, as is the case with other countries in Europe. So China looks at what's happening in the Middle East, and China, I think, is working very hard diplomatically to come to an agreement. Unfortunately, right now, China doesn't have much leverage over either the United States or Iran. In fact, many analysts believe that this war was started in part to economically strangle China, because China depends on a lot of its economy. A lot of its economy is based on accessing cheap energy from overseas. Specifically, the GCC. China imports 40% of its energy needs from the GCC. And so if the GCC were to stop energy production, then the Chinese economy would be in a lot of trouble. And this would give Trump a lot of negotiating leverage over China in the upcoming talks scheduled for mid-May. And I believe that what's going to happen is that because the Chinese are extremely pragmatic and very business-oriented, and I think that Trump and China will sign a landmark deal where China agrees to buy a lot of energy from North America.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Wow.
Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game?
All the time.
Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills.
Oh, sick.
Try it at Progressive.com.
Will do.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Dakarat, and I created Owestra by Inner Balance, the first all-in-one prescription-strength bioidentical hormone cream for women
It's a little AI
experiencing
voicing, but okay.
perimenopause, menopause, postpartum endometriosis, PCOS, or other hormonal imbalances. Owestra replaces 5 to 6 products women typically use to treat symptoms with only one drop, 10 seconds a day. So if you're fatigued, have mood changes or skin shifts, yet your labs say everything's normal,
Mood
visit
changes?
innerbalance.com to start feeling like yourself again. That's innerbalance.com.
You're full of praise for China's role in trying to get peace in the Middle East. Here's what I don't get. You were caught filming protests by Chinese workers, famously in 2002 as a freelance journalist at the time. You were suspected by the Chinese government of spying. You were deported from China. Reporters Without Borders protested your deportation at the time. How did you get back into China? And why is it, some of your critics say, you have so little to say about China's role in all of this geopolitics? Is it because you're not allowed to currently?
Right. So when I started as a young journalist, I was subcontracted by PBS to do a documentary on China's WTO entry. And one major issue about China's WTO entry, of course, is worker rights. And at this time in China, there was a major restructuring of the state-owned enterprise system. So I was dispatched to northeastern China to film a worker protest. Unfortunately, the place was swimming with police spies, and I was arrested and interrogated for 2 days. I was held incognito for 48 hours, which is the maximum by Chinese law. And I signed a confession saying that I was a reporter and working in China illegally as a reporter, and the decision was made to deport me without charging me with any crime. And so I was allowed to come back into the country, but I was deported. So that was the story.
If they suspected you of being a spy, how did they let you back in? China's not known for being that trusting.
They suspected me of being a spy, but after a 48-hour investigation, after doing a thorough background check on me, they concluded that I was not a spy. And I was a journalist working to film in a worker protest.
But it wasn't just 2002. In 2017, we checked, you wrote an op-ed for CNN.com headline, China's media enables tyranny and corruption. In that piece, you praised the US media as the world's free speech defender of last resort. You said in China, power trumps truth. And China's Communist Party, you said, maintains its iron grip on power by controlling what's said in the media and what's taught in the classroom. Do you stand by those views from less than a decade ago?
So in 2017, when I was asked by CNN to write an op-ed, I did stand by those views at that time because, like everyone else, in 2016, when Donald Trump won the election, I thought this would be very bad for American democracy because he was clearly not a believer in free speech.
Yes.
He called the news media fake news. And so I wrote the op-ed for American audience saying, like, the greatest treasure, the greatest wealth of America is the First Amendment, the right to speak whatever you want. And I contrast that with China, where you're not allowed to say whatever you want, where you are very much monitored by the government Even today, I do not have a Chinese online media presence. I do not say anything online. I do not talk to reporters from China because I'm conscious that whatever I say online could be used against me.
But hold on, they allow you to be on this show, they allow you to be on YouTube, you get past the great firewall that you criticized in that CNN piece. How come?
Look, the reality is that the best way to understand my situation in China is I'm essentially a Martian on Earth talking to Martians back at home in Mars. Like, I am not part of the Chinese system. I'm on YouTube, which is blocked in China.
How do they allow
English.
you to be on YouTube? This is what I'm not understanding. If you're blocked in China, why do they allow you to become... You're very prominent now. You're famous in the West. I'm sure the Chinese government has noticed that.
Well, most Chinese will have access to a VPN device, and that's what I use in order to access the internet.
You wrote for CNN that the Chinese government has built the Great Firewall to monitor and control their citizens' pursuit of truth. Does China control what you say now?
China does not control what I say because, again, I'm not talking to Chinese people. I'm talking to Westerners.
Hold on, that's what most people would say is China's great benefit. They might see, your critics might say, they're using you as a propagandist to come and say this stuff about Iran and the US on behalf of China. That would be what your critics would say.
Look, the reality is that this is a fair and legitimate criticism that I've been contemplating for the past 3-4 weeks. Because, you know, when I first started this YouTube channel like 2 years ago, I was expecting 5,000 viewers who would have a passion for learning, who would be as engaged with literature and geopolitics as I was. And over the past month, I've blown up all across the internet. And I don't think this is organic. But so I wonder if there are some governments or some entities that believe that my message should be amplified. It is possible I'm a useful idiot. And I suspect that there are many entities around the world who would like to amplify my message, including the Chinese government, but also including the Russian government, including some aspects of the American government, including some people who are hostile towards war.
I appreciate your candor. You said you blew up on the internet.
Okay.
You did go viral over your Iran predictions. But on your YouTube page, as people now start to acquaint themselves with you and familiarize with your work, people have been slightly surprised to see some of your other stuff. You have a series of lectures focused on secret societies where you argue that groups like the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Jesuits are at the center of world control. People would say you sound kind of crazy when you talk about the Illuminati. It's the kind of thing you hear in Dan Brown novels.
Right. So I'm trying a new approach to pedagogy and to scholarship, which is speculative, analysis. So I went to Yale and I received a very rigorous classical education. I'm very happy and proud that I went to Yale. But what I discovered in life, as I stumbled through life, is that what I was taught at Yale doesn't really apply to real life. People with the most rational, logical arguments don't usually win. And people who are the most progressive, the most enlightened aren't usually the ones in power. So I was determined, just for my own personal benefit, to develop a new system which would give me better insight into how power works in the world. And so I started something called predictive history. And the very idea of predictive history is this: how do we know if our understanding of history is correct? And the answer is, well, we can make predictions based on our historical framework, and seeing if these predictions work out or not, validate our historical models. So what I've discovered is that if you have a combination of game theory, historical patterning, and eschatology, then this gives you a pretty deep insight into how the world will turn out. And secret societies are very much an important aspect of eschatology.
I'll come back to secret societies. A couple of things you mentioned there. You said you were at Yale. Just to be clear, your degree was in English literature, was it not at Yale? Was it international relations or national security? You're an English lit graduate, and you're not a professor. I know it's your YouTube moniker, but you're a high school teacher. You're not actually a professor.
Right. So when I went to Yale, I was actually a math and physics major. I was declared a math and physics major, but the Yale English department was very strong, and so I switched majors. So I have actually both a math background as well as an English background. That's why my system of analysis can seem strange to people, because I'm combining a multidisciplinary approach to my thinking. Yeah. Obviously. And I'm not a professor. I'm not a professor. But I never said I was a professor. It's the internet who called me professor.
Hold on. You don't call yourself Professor Jiang on your YouTube channel.
I do now, but when I first started out, if you go way back to my
It doesn't
early
matter when
lectures-
you first started out. You do call yourself Professor Jiang and you're not a professor.
Look, there's a guy on the internet who calls himself the God. Have you interviewed him yet? And asked him why he calls himself the God?
I think I'm good friends with a radio host called Charlemagne the God, but no one actually thinks he's a god. People actually think you're a professor. Just sticking with your analysis, you just said speculative analysis. To many people, that sounds
Speculative?
like
Really?
you're just making it up. You're speculating.
Look, I think that the problem with education is that it focuses too much on facts, too much on rigor, and not enough on
Too much on
imagination.
facts. Do you hear yourself? It sounds. I mean, what do you mean too much on facts?
Look, I know this sounds strange, but there is a difference between facts and truth, right? Facts are what can be independently verified by other sources. Truth is a deep understanding of the world that allows you to understand why things are the way they are, as well as make certain predictions. We used to be a people, a human species that was very focused on truth seeking. And that's why religion was such an important part of our lives, because God, prayer was very important to help us understand our place in the world, where we came from, what we're doing here, and where we're going. And now we just focus on facts, on making sure that you can memorize all the elements of the periodic table, on making sure that
when you talk about secret societies, I guess people want to say, well, where's the factual evidence? Where's the evidence? You said, I think, the Jesuits control the Vatican. First of all, there's nothing wrong with Jesuits. Good people, I know many of them. Second of all, there's only ever been one pope who's a Jesuit, and he's gone. So people would wonder, like, facts are important to your evidence. And people would say that it's not just fun and games when you're doing speculation on YouTube. They look at some of your rhetoric and they see that you don't just criticize Zionism or Israel, as many people legitimately do. You talk about this pretty far-right concept of Pax Judaica, a new world order centered around Israel. You have a video called Dawn of the Jews, in which you seek to answer the question, why is it that Jews are so dominant? Surely you understand why a lot of people think at best you're trafficking in pretty anti-Semitic tropes, and at worst, you're a card-carrying anti-Semite when they see that stuff.
Okay, well, that is a very strong accusation. So can you please tell me what specifically I've said that you find offensive?
When you do a video called Dawn of the Jews, why is it that Jews are so dominant? You don't find that offensive?
I never said Jews were dominant. What I said in my lecture was that the Jewish identity was created by the Persian Empire in order to better control the Levant. And if you read the Bible, that's exactly what you can derive from it. If you go to my lecture, Dawn of the Jews, you will see that I use the Bible as my primary source, and then I analyze what the Bible is saying. The problem is that most people don't read the Bible.
But people who came up with Pax Judaica are not biblical scholars. They're the modern white supremacist far right.
Sorry. What is wrong with the term Pax Judaica?
You tell me. What does it mean?
It just means that there is an entity in the Middle East, Israel, that is able to dominate the Middle East, very much along the lines of Pax Americana and Pax Britannica and Pax
But you didn't say Pax
Magalica.
Israelica. You said Pax Judaica. That implies all Jews. You know the tropes about Jews running the world. I wouldn't be okay if you said Iran is dominant, Saudi Arabia is dominant, Pax Muslimica. In fact, you know that there are many racists in the West who do believe that Islam and Muslims are trying to take over the world. I find that equally offensive.
Right. So I'm using a Latin convention, and so the Latin convention would be Pax Judaica. It would not be Pax Israelica.
But you know where this concept comes from. It exists in far-right online circles. It's not some academic term.
Do you believe that the Greater Israel Project is a far-right conspiracy theory?
No.
What is it then?
I think it's a very real project being carried out by the Israeli government. I just don't call it Pax Judaica.
Right, okay. So the difference between the Greater Israel Project and Pax Judaica is this. Greater Israel Project is what the Israelis believe that Yahweh, their God, promised to their ancestor Abraham in the Bible. And this extends from the now to the Euphrates. And I could have just used Greater Israel Project, but I want to differentiate because I believe that Pax Judaica is not an empire run by Jews, for Jews, by Jews. It is an empire run by transnational capital and secret societies in order to create an AI surveillance state throughout the Middle East.
And this is, just to be clear, and this is speculative analysis. This is not based on facts, as you say.
So it is based on speculative analysis based on history, historical patterns. It's also based on connecting the dots. Because if you just look at what Netanyahu says, if you actually just go and watch on YouTube,
I know what Netanyahu says. We're in agreement on how bad Netanyahu is, how expansionist is. I'm talking about the language you use, the milieu you're in. Let me ask you this before we wrap up. What are your own politics? Where do you place yourself on the political spectrum?
I believe I've always been on the left. So I believe that wealth redistribution is very important. I believe in freedom of speech. I am anti-war. I'm anti-empire. I believe in individual autonomy. And so, unfortunately, I used to be left, but I think that, like, given my preferences and given my politics, I believe most people would consider me on the far right nowadays, and that's unfortunate.
Wow.
That is unfortunate. Last question. You made 3 very famous predictions in 2024. What is your big prediction now for 2026? We'll see what happens. We can test it out at the end of the year.
Well, I've made 3 predictions about how this war will progress. Okay, so my first prediction is that the United States will use ground troops.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that. I'm with you.
And I believe that this ground troops will be a quagmire for the United States, and that they will have to call a national draft. Okay, that's my first prediction.
Okay.
No
my second
shot.
prediction, and this is very important, is that
no way
Israel and the United States will not use a nuclear weapon in this war. I think that the talk of nuclear weapons is fear-mongering. I don't think we will escalate to that point of nuclear weapons.
I hope you're right. I worry about nukes. I hope you're right.
And my third and most controversial prediction is that I believe that during the course of this war, somehow, some way, the Al-Aqsa Mosque will be destroyed.
Wow.
That'd be crazy, but no shot.
That would be a disaster. God forbid. We will have to leave it there on that rather dark prediction. Shui-Chin Jiang, I appreciate you taking time out. I appreciate you taking my questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't...
No, I'm good. I don't need it. Man, what a day.
Can I just live?
Kevin O'Leary went on the Iced Coffee Hour podcast.
The wealth tax. Because Jack, we were having a discussion earlier, believes that it might be a good thing.
No, Jack.
Oh, what are these? How everybody's on this populist grift. Oh, the billionaires. Oh boy. How can they? I don't know. Okay, whatever.
What do you think of the wealth tax? Because Jack, we were having a discussion earlier, believes that it might be a good thing.
No, Jack. You're going to hell for saying that.
But there's an argument to be made.
No, there isn't. It's un-American. It will destroy the fabric of the economy, punishing wealth and success.
Well, it's not punishing because they already have billions of dollars.
Right. The difference between having $5 billion and then let's just say a 10% wealth tax, $4.5 billion is not quite significant.
It's just the idea that you're made a promise to come to America as an entrepreneur, to achieve the American dream, and then some arbitrary politician randomly decides.
Oh my God. The blind versus the blinder.
We're going to appropriate that from you. We're going to steal your wealth just because we feel that a 10% wealth tax is appropriate.
It's not really stealing. It's redistributing.
You're going to go to hell too. Like both of you are going to hell. I feel sorry. I mean,
well, we've never made any real
I've
money.
Heard that word before in Cuba, in North Korea, in Russia.
It just hasn't been done right.
They're all shitholes now. How about Venezuela? They redistribute all the time to corruption. It's a shithole.
Let's assuming it goes to corruption. But if it doesn't?
No, the point is...
We're not very corrupt here in America.
No, because we have laws and we abide by them. But one of those laws is you can't steal people's money. So this idea of a wealth tax is going to be litigated right to the Supreme Court, and it's going to lose because it's un-American. And there is no such thing as too much wealth because it all goes back anyways. The guy dies or the woman dies that has that wealth. And then we hit it again with estate tax. You get it back. And during their lifetime, they should be able to enjoy their success, you know, unfettered because they took the risk to create, you know, what people keep forgetting on this issue. And Elon Musk is often used as the example, you know, nearly the wealthiest man on earth now. How many jobs has he created? How much tax has he paid? I mean, if we didn't have him, would there be Starlink?
2024 and 2025?
Would there be, you know, Tesla? No. Would there be all this innovation in robotics? No. Let's punish him for his success.
But
Let's
I think
make damn sure.
I think he would be fine with $100 billion.
No,
He's
he
not
wants to
on the
use that
streets.
money to. He lives in a shack somewhere. He doesn't care.
We're totally kidding. We don't
We're
actually believe
joking.
in wealth tax.
Chilly out
Well,
there.
We're just trying to bait you.
No, I get
We
it.
just thought this is a fun discussion.
You're not going to hell, then, and you're lucky. But
I was
the
trying to
whole-
hold back the
The
laughter.
whole issue is, and he said this publicly, I need that capital to deploy the next mission. And he's turned it from Mars to being the moon, just in the last 2 weeks. I want to give him as much money, because if you look at executional skills, show me anywhere on Earth where there's a person like that. And thank goodness he doesn't live in Russia or in China or in, you know, North Korea. He's here in America because he wants to pursue the American dream. The reason those countries, you think about even Europe, if you have a great idea and you're sitting in France, you get on a plane and you go to Texas. That's where you make it happen. Even as far back as the V2 rockets, when they were, you know, Germans, they came to America and set up NASA. We bring the geniuses here because they want to live in freedom and they want to be rewarded the American dream. Look, I'm very stalwart on this. I'm very focused on it. And when I see bad policy, I rage against it.
just recycle?
Let's go to that location.
You'd venture out at a time like this? You must really want some candleberries if you'd risk severe frostbite for them.
Go to that metro.
I am chilling. Amazing to hear.
Ooh. Sorry, hold on. Did I miss anything insightful the last 2 months of this? I'm guessing probably not.
How do I know that? How do I know that? Because I used to steal shit like crazy. I used to do it all the time. My dad even taught me how to do it. I remember there were times that he thought that I was stealing something, and he would immediately stand in a position and try to watch it. I wasn't even stealing anything, but he immediately got in position for it. And so anyway, it takes one to know one.
Okay, we're in town. There's got to be some cats around here. Cat? Are you guys pets?
What?
Cat? Are you guys pets? Your cat?
Is it?
I forgot they were speaking Chinese, and I was like, what did you say to me?
Okay.
Make sure you stay warm up there, Raider. The frostbite can be just as dangerous as any arc.
Listen here.
I feel like there's a,
Watch this shit. Like Kylian Mbappe.
Jesus. Rob, live on
Yes,
stream.
sir.
Uh-oh.
Cheese. You want steak and cheese? Yes, sir. Okay, I have to clean the grill. I just finished the steak and cheese. Okay. Sir, steak and cheese, you want everything? Mayonnaise, lettuce, tomato, everything?
I want everything.
You want to pay tomorrow? Yeah. You can pay, is it like chili cheese hot dog is like, yeah, I am live streaming.
Oh, right. Nah, I was looking. I was like, is my face right in the flop?
Yeah, yeah, I am on live. And then also I share on Instagram. Is okay?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
You will see me on you will see you on Instagram tomorrow.
Right,
I can
bet.
post it.
Well, TikTok.
Yes,
You on
TikTok. Instagram too. Listen, boss.
I mean,
Okay. Steak and cheese.
Yeah, steak and cheese. Everything on it. Heavy meal.
Heavy mayonnaise.
Heavy
okay.
meal. Heavy meal. Yeah. Heavy meal.
I say let me go. It was slow to you guys keep coming.
Wait,
It was
it's being, he's being live for me. He's just gonna steal anyway? Wait, really?
It was slow today. I say let me go home.
Okay.
He's not coming back.
I want extra.
Okay, sir. Okay.
10.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a second. Hold on my car. I'm about to say I want
second.
Scissors. All right.
He steals like 20 bucks? Wait, what?
How much is it so I know what to put in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy roly. Okay. Go back and listen to that 911 call.
And then he stole my tip box's money.
I need to get that person's description. What race?
He's a dark skin and handsome boy.
Is he black, white, Hispanic, Asian?
Man, he has a dark skin.
So is he black, white, Hispanic, Asian?
He's a dark skin.
Can he not
Are
say
you African American? Is that what you're explaining?
African, I think. I think, I don't know.
What was he wearing?
Let me see. He is wearing. Okay. He's wearing like he got the tattoos on his face. He got so many tattoos.
What was he wearing?
He's wearing what? I don't know. How can I explain it? Yani he's wearing like this.
Like what, sir? You're looking at him. I'm not there. You have to tell me what he has
You cannot
on.
see me. I am sorry. This is if you call me FaceTime, is it possible to show me FaceTime? This.
No, sir. I can't FaceTime you.
Okay, he is wearing, what is the name, guys, of this? Yani? Blue jacket, blue jacket, yani jacket, blue jacket, blue white, you know, like a kid's jacket.
I don't know what that means, sir. So is it a blue jacket?
Yes,
with
ma'am.
white?
Yes, blue jacket.
Sir, if you have any further information, okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sal. Good.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye. Oh, police is calm. It's perfect. Customer is calm. I supposed to close, but give me 1 second, ma'am. I need to talk to police for 5 minutes.
Cold outside.
Just, yes, boss. How are you? Can I show you? Boss.
And beware of frostbite.
I am sorry, man. I don't want to bother you.
No, you're fine.
You see the guy?
Yeah, I already saw it.
Yeah, you saw it?
Yeah, I saw it.
I can do. If you have an airdrop, I can send it to you.
Nah, I got it.
Maybe he's around here.
I know Lily. I know he is.
Do you know him? So he's still like you see that it's something like 35, 20. Like he's still more something like let's say maybe 30 something.
Like $30.
Yeah. Man, he seems nice. I speak to him, but after why he is doing this?
I got you. What is he
Then
doing?
That is kind of wild.
Hello.
ชุดออกแบบและตัดเย็บโดย
Aren't ICE agents federal? Aren't they? Does that even make sense?
Dan.
This fucking library. A viewer found extra Emily in the middle of a lake. Why did he hit him like 20 times?
Oh, watch out.
What's that song? What is he doing? What the hell?
Who knows what he's done? We want to watch on the road.
That's not my fault, bro. The hell is... What is...
You look like you belong on Tatooine.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god.
F-tilt!
Is that it? He gets back!
He just gives it to him!
The back air!
Bear doesn't kill!
Oh my god,
he's still side beam. Oh my god, the fucking back hit on that bear. 152? Ah! Oh my god, any hit from either of these players. Oh! There! Oh my god! Oh, he doesn't find the F-smash. Oh! Neutral get up from Wizard. Oh my god!
Oh my god, that was crazy. The other dude's number was so high and he almost knocked him off, and then the other dude knocked him off. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I promise y'all, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh no! I jinxed it.
Jake's on nationals.
Oh yes. Oh no! I jinxed it. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! No!
Oh no.
That is the worst feeling.
Wait, what happened?
They'll just get the 10 seconds added and there's
It's
nobody
like
else
right in the
behind them.
middle in the trunk
It
too.
is.
How do you lose it? Is this part of the...
Oh my god! I can feel the relief.
Wait, is it like gender segregated, or is it just women that do this thing?
That's amazing. So great.
Wow.
I will suck, bro. Is that what you do?
Because it's Trump's. We love Trump.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean we suck his bro. I'm about to get you knocked the out right now, and I'm not gonna do it. One of you want to be a asshole. There's women around here. Don't go suck it, asshole.
You okay, dude?
We support Trump.
Yeah,
Jesus.
don't say we support Trump. That's all you have to say.
You don't support Trump if you don't
No,
suck his
I don't
cock.
suck his. I don't suck any. You asshole. Not homo like you. Oh, come on, leave him.
Hmm.
You like to suck like fucking pussy.
If you support Trump, then you'll suck his cock.
What the difference in crowd between those fucking liberals and Republicans, huh?
Hmm.
Not really.
Really?
Both sides have destroyed my signs.
Really?
Both sides have put hands on me. Come on, let's go over here to the Proud Boys. Hey, Proud Boys. When are we storming the Capitol again?
I would like to know who rescued the retard and put a compass.
We're gonna storm the Capitol after this, just so you know.
Right now, you gotta go.
I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys. We're together. I have the hat and everything.
He has the hat. I mean, true. He does have the hat.
And a shirt. This says I'm Ultra MAGA.
Perfect example here. We got somebody from the other side trying to disrupt here, and his message is free Epstein.
Because Epstein was a hoax. That's what Trump said. Get my good side.
I already think it's this side, which is the back.
The back.
Hey, your boy.
You want to?
I'm just messing with you, bro.
What? You want to do it from the back? That's weird. That's weird. This guy just said my best feature is my ass, and I'm not comfortable with that.
How long have you been retarded?
Pretty much all my life.
Like from birth? It wasn't like an accident or like a head drop. It was like a genetic.
situation?
I don't understand the question.
Why did you cast a vote for Kamala Harris?
I casted a vote for Trump.
Why?
Because Trump is the best president.
Why is that?
Can we not?
He's the best president in the universe.
Well, that's good, man. I appreciate it.
Bruh. I'm gonna get. Now the guy's gonna fuck me up.
I don't get it.
Sounds good. We're going back to square one with this retard. Well, hey, shout out to all the gay retards out there. What do you have to say to them?
Shout out to all the gay retards.
Are you actually from Connecticut?
Yeah.
Are you defund the police coming up?
Yeah, they protect us from marijuana and stuff.
You would ever.
Iranians have said that their goal is to spike the price of oil to $200 a barrel. Financing for wars. So even though it could not produce a land army, it could give you the financing to fight Napoleon, and that's what led to the 7 Napoleonic Wars. But the problem with this is that once you start to fight a war, you have to keep on fighting because if you lost, then you lose all your money, right? So it's almost like a Ponzi scheme. And so that's what led to the Napoleonic Wars. And again, in the seventh war, Britain won, was able to force an indemnity onto the French, and that saved the British system. So after the French came the Russians, which led to the Russian Great Game, which let's say we call the Great Game between Britain and Russia in Central Asia.
But with the same idea, they're trying to stop them from forming this Heartland Alliance so that they can do trade via trains.
That's exactly correct.
We'll get back to the show in just a second, but first, let's talk about gold. Gold is the right asset these days, but most people are using it wrong. They buy it, hold it, and then wait for the price to go up.
What do you have to do with it?
The price is still denominated in dollars, so you haven't actually escaped the system.
Oh my god, are we gonna buy gold in crypto? The ultimate combination of wacky things. I am so fucking ready, please. Let's go.
You're still playing by its rules. That's the shift Monetary Metals helps make possible. They've built a way for your gold to earn yield, paid not in dollars, but in more physical gold. Up to 4% per year. More ounces, compounding in hard money every single month. You're growing the quantity of the hardest asset on Earth, and storage and insurance are included. So there's no hidden fees that are going to eat away at your yield. Most people are passively absorbing inflation. This is exactly how you actively compound your way out of that. Click the link in the show notes or visit monetary-metals.com/impact to learn more. This is a paid advertisement. And now, let's get back to the show. Yeah, I want to keep beating this point for people because this is one of the more brilliant ideas that I had never heard of before that you brought forward. I'm constantly trying to get people to understand what's going on in Iran through the lens of economics. And I don't know if this is going to be a point of agreement between us or a point of contention, because I know we're going to get into the religious element of it with your thesis on eschatology. We'll get there in a second. But this idea that there have been all these attempts to get people, that multiple different empires have tried to unify that heartland that you're talking about across Europe that would essentially go from Eastern Europe all the way to the Middle East. And because I had often wondered, you hear a lot that, the U.S. patrols the seas, that England did it before them. And I was always like, how, with boats that can't go on land, how exactly are you controlling this large empire via the sea? And this is the first way where I've heard somebody really dive into.
There we go.
Well, if you force commerce onto the water, you actively stop it from going on land. Now you get these few choke points. And if you can control those choke points, you control the economics. And if you control the economics, you basically control the world. And I've had a shockingly difficult time getting people to view this war through the lens of economics. Now, I know you're just starting here and you have other things. Do you feel like the economic lens is the predominant lens, or are we going to get to something that you think is actually even bigger than that?
Yeah, I think the economic lens is the priority. But there are other issues adjacent to this economic issue. And without understanding these other issues, we can't really understand what's really going on. Because if it was purely an economic issue, then what America could do is say to Iran, let's just be friends. Let's be trading partners, right? And Iran would be ecstatic about America lifting sanctions, because the entire point of negotiating with America on the nuclear deal was to lift sanctions, right? So it was purely economics. Then America and Iran would shut down, like 1979, 1980, whenever, and just agreed on an economic solution to the differences. And like 40 years later, there's never been a serious economic solution. And so this tells us that, yes, economics is at the heart of it. It doesn't really fully explain what's going on.
Okay, I want to set the religious component on the shelf for now. We'll get to why the right lens is economics, but however, if you want to know why people stop being rational actors, we'll get to that. So we've got this Mackinder's heartland thesis. The British have it. They're fighting against, first France, then Russia, like that keeps going for a while. But the baton handoff from the Brits to the US running the same strategy is something that I think certainly Americans are largely blind to. Can you walk us through that and why something that made sense for this tiny island continues to make sense for, the gigantic landmass and economy that is the US?
Right. So we have to remember, much of the reason why Britain was able to keep its enemies in the heartland at bay was because it allied itself with the Germans, right? So basically it was an alliance with the Prussians that allowed the British to defeat the French at the end of the day. But in the late 19th century, about 1870, Germany unified under Bismarck. And now they have their own ambitions. And now Britain can conflict with Germany. The Germans were extremely technologically advanced at the best universities. They were extremely sophisticated cultured people, just the best philosophy in the world, and they had the best general staff in the world. So Britain found a tremendous adversary in Germany, so much so that it took 2 world wars to defeat Germany. So we can argue about the causes of World War I. The most historians agree that World War I was caused because Britain was the hegemon and Germany was the challenger, a rising power that threatened the economic imperial security of Britain, and that's what ultimately led to this World War I. And America came into the war because, quite honestly, it seemed as though Germany was going to triumph in the end. So it took basically an entire global alliance to defeat Germany in World War I. The travesty of World War I is that in the Versailles Conference, the Allies made Germany take all the guilt for causing World War I, which was extremely unfair and inappropriate. And it basically laid the seed for World War II. And so you got World War II, and now Germany is spreading across Europe, and Germany decided to attack Soviet Union, which is communist. You would think that America and Britain would fight alongside the Nazis, but instead they chose to support Stalin. And again, the reason why is the Heartland-McKenna thesis. You cannot allow a great power to emerge in the Eurasian continent. And at that time, it seemed that Germany was a second gift, right? Because if you marry German technology and logistics organization with Russian manpower and resources, then this is the empire that rules the world. So America could not allow that to happen. But both World War I and World War II exhausted Britain, and it forced the peaceful transfer of imperial power from Britain to America. And this was cemented in something called the Bretton Woods Conference of 1944, which established the global financial order that we live in today. So that is the story.
Okay, so the part that I think a lot of Americans will be a little bit baffled by is why is that handoff so obvious that, okay, the way to rule the world is to stick with these shipping lanes? It makes sense when you've got a small island. It gets more confusing when the U.S. is a gigantic landmass with cooperative neighbors to maybe slightly varying degrees, certainly right now, to the north and to the south of them. So why did we accept this idea of trying to control the entire world via the seas? Was it just the call of being the imperial leader is so strong and so intoxicating that we're willing to take on the risk of empire? Or was it that, well, that's what we're going to have to do to make sure that the dollar remains the world's reserve currency?
Right. So I think that at the end of World War II, first of all, there was a lot of tremendous goodwill among the Europeans for what America did, right? I mean, because Americans made a lot of sacrifices to save Europe from fascism. And so the Europeans were very grateful. And the real concern was that if America retreated back into its continental fortress, which is what America did at the end of World War I, then another threat would arise in Europe, possibly the Soviet Union, right? Well, I mean, obviously the Soviet Union.
Obviously.
And so the Europeans were very much interested in ensuring that America stayed interested in European affairs. And that's what led to the NATO alliance and the Marshall Plan. And America itself recognized that if it did not help the Europeans then communism was ascended. Communism had already won in the Soviet Union, and it was clearly going to triumph in China. And so now you have a combination of both Soviet Union and China, and so that really scared American policy makers. So it was in their best interest to revitalize Europeans and the Japanese as soon as possible, and that's what led, of course, to the Marshall Plan. So I think that it was a combination of idealism and a combination of goodwill, as well as just real politics, long-term strategic planning.
Okay, so with that as the backdrop, we now understand that America's taken the baton, they're patrolling the seas, they're, for a very long time, they're really holding at bay Russia from becoming the next great power. We end up winning that largely because Russia just imploded by not being able to figure out a successful economic system. Now you get Pax Americana, one government, the monopolar world where they're just running everything. How does that end up pushing us towards this moment? Because for a lot of people that grew up under that, it was awesome. So you and I think, were actually born in the same year. So for me, this has just been like, yo, this has been amazing. And so it's watching it unravel is deeply distressing, but seeing it up close, as an entrepreneur, the way that I kept interfacing with something I've heard you talk about using very different words is that some people need to be chased by a lion. Without hardship, without having to fight and struggle for something, the ideas that take root in people's minds are very distorted. They begin to think that the world is just always going to be peaceful, that's just the default stance, and so they're not thinking about the real things that it takes to maintain hegemonic structure like we had for so very long. So when you think about the structural forces that were at play post the collapse of the Soviet Union, why did it get worse and not better?
Okay, so to answer this question, you have to look at what America's major imperial innovation was. Okay, so in the Bretton Woods Conference, 1944,
must find a way to victory, better to prolong it, leverage a war to stay in power, etc., etc. So walk me through if you think any of that analysis is off base or if I'm missing something, but what do you see if he makes the fateful decision to go after Carvel?
Yeah, no, I agree with your analysis. I think a lot of the thinking is how does he stay in power? Because we know exactly what's going to happen if he leaves office. The Democrats are going to come in power, and they're going to go after him and his family. We know this because that's what happened in 2020. Remember the raid in Mar-a-Lago. Remember all this lawfare against Trump. Remember that he lost his court case and almost bankrupt. Okay, so you can imagine that there's a lot of people who want revenge for what Trump is doing in his second term. So Trump cannot afford to leave office. And so his personal calculus is, how do I stay in power? Well, staying in power for the ballot box is, very risky. But, he starts a war. And this war is, of course, supported by both Democrats and Republicans. But then, slowly, this war starts out of control. And then there's a lot of unrest around America, in which case he forced the National Guard. And then he forced the National Grasp in order to protect American interests in the Middle East. Then he can conceivably stay in power for as long as this war continues. And we know this because of what happened with Zelensky in Ukraine.
And then
yeah, exactly. Because the war in Ukraine, they suspended the constitution and they suspended elections, and Zelensky is still in power. And remember, when Zelensky visited Trump in the White House, Trump asked Zelensky, hey, can you do that? And then Zelensky's like, you like it, don't you? Right? So I think, unfortunately, that is going through the mind of Trump right now. I just want to step back, and because a lot of people are saying, why doesn't Trump just declare victory and go home? The problem with this is, if Trump were to leave the Middle East, basically the Empire would collapse. So let's go over using game theory what would happen if Trump would just say, you know what, I killed the leadership, I destroyed the nuclear weapons program, I set back the business program, everything I wanted to accomplish, I've already accomplished, I'm gonna go home, guys, goodbye. Okay, what happened is this, Iran would say to the GCC, hey, you destroyed our country, you have to pay back reparations. If you don't pay back reparations, first of all, we'll continue to attack you and destroy your oil infrastructure, and second of all, we won't let you use criminal moves. So now the GCC is supposed to take their $4 trillion in seven wealth funds before this whole the United States, not going to Iran to build back their economy and infrastructure and their military, right? But then the Japanese and the South Koreans are like, well, we just saw what happened, right? Where the Americans attacked Iran, and Iran fought back and destroyed the GCC, and the Americans refused to defend the GCC. Remember, the entire point of this $400 agreement is that the Americans would guarantee the security of the GCC. And when this war started out, what happened is the Americans abandoned the bases, changed the civilian flows, and moved into hotels because they could not stop the Iranians from raining drones and ballistic missiles on their bases. So the South Koreans and the Japanese would be like, okay, well, we can't trust Americans, so we need to remilitarize as soon as possible. So let's just not depend on American and remilitarize. But what that also means is they stop buying U.S. treasuries, right? And so the U.S. dollar loses buyers from the Middle East and loses buyers from East Asia. And so the dollar could collapse in value. And now America has $40 trillion in debt, which forces an economic...
That would be the global hunt collection, which is all of your mom's photos. I think it stands for, I think it's the Gulf, it's something with the Gulf, it's a bunch of Gulf states that do something called Gulf Cooperation Council. The real scary thing is Trump watches this guy and like, oh, this guy's still fine. How can you do this guy?
Not quite my tempo. 5, 6, and. Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman? I don't know. Sure you do. Start counting. 5, 6, 7. In 4, damn it! Look at me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
The light guides my steps.
Oh my god, it's Destiny! Epic! The streamer. Oh, I saw that apparently XQC's voice in this game is actually just Millicent impersonation. Oh, let's get some real
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here and to be able to speak to you guys today. And I'm not here to speak on behalf of Republicans or Democrats.
But Americans.
We the people.
Yes.
I think nowadays, we all agree that we all just want to live the American dream, have the best life. We all agree that we all just want to live the American dream and have the best life possible. However, it feels that sometimes
it's not possible.
Actually, a lot of times, non-controversial issues are becoming controversial inside of America. For instance, if you take a look at the idea of deporting illegal migrants, that word is illegal. That should not be controversial.
Fucking Kalapa,
Or
preach!
the idea that showing your ID to vote has become controversial.
Wow.
That's not controversial either. The idea that fraud is bad has become controversial. How is that controversial?
Dude, preach.
I know a little bit about fraud. I know a little bit about Minnesota daycares as well.
Oh god, I hope it is the leering joke. That's my favorite one of his.
And it's crazy to think that we live in a world where somebody who exposes fraud can then be painted as the bad man from the politicians where he exposed the fraud. Shouldn't they be excited to know that the fraud is being exposed, because that's not a Republican dollar or a Democrat dollar.
That's an American dollar.
Our dollars. I've never gotten a dollar bill that says right or red or blue or right or left. We all...
Bro, dude, how is it that the party that makes fun of people with disabilities and all this shit, how can they handle RFK and this guy?
A bill that says right or red or blue or right or left. We all live inside of the same country, and we should all want the best for our country. And when you see fraud inside of our country taking place at literally rampant levels, for instance, in Minnesota, there were programs like autism where you have 10,000% increases in the budget for autism, and this money then goes into the hands of fraudsters. How does somebody not look at that and say, there's a 10,000% increase in the budget for autism? Is there a 10,000% increase in autistic children inside of our neighborhoods? And if the answer is no, how are they justifying a 10,000% increase in the budget? And in other instances like California, where you have a 1,000% increase in hospices, is everyone going to die in LA? I don't think so. So the idea that
Epic.
Here inside the United States, when we have these non-controversial issues that have become controversial, it puts us into a weird culture war where it puts people into a position.
What happens if I traverse the
Wait,
necropolis?
how are you supporting this when you're actually not benefiting we the people? We all live inside of the United States. We're not supposed to be, when elected officials elected, they're not supposed to represent 50% of the population. They're supposed to represent 100% of the population. In an instance where fraud is taking place inside our country, each and every single person,
They're all feared
should
now.
want to crack down on that fraud. Because if we don't, these people can continue just to literally steal our dollars. And they steal our dollars, and then
Yeah?
they send it overseas, and once it's overseas, we can't ever get that money back.
That's crazy, bro.
And that's something that I've learned as I've gone about exposing this fraud. And a lot of times, these people that are taking our tax dollars are foreigners who are not even from the United States of America, and they're stealing our money. And it's just been so crazy to see how in all 50 states there is fraud. However, it seems to be that most of the fraud is in a lot of these blue cities. And when you go out and expose the fraud, I mean,
shit, we got
I think
Nick
Gavin
Shirley
Newsom, he
on
posted a
CPAC.
photo of me the other
my
day
God.
and had 10 cameras on me, an AI generated image saying, "Where are the kids?" trying to depict me as a pervert for exposing fraud.
Wow.
How sick does the governor have to be to say that the kid
Super sick,
exposing
bro.
the fraud is the bad person versus the fraudsters that are stealing the money?
Wow. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking A. Clappa.
And going through this experience of exposing this fraud, I finally came to understand why, for instance, why they attack Elon Musk so hard, why they burn down his factories, or why they burn down his cars, or why they attack him so much when he was simply exposing fraud to help every single citizen.
Wow.
Well, it just happens to be that
So noble.
these politicians don't want the fraud to be exposed because they're involved in the fraud.
Oh. Yeah. There we go. Clappa.
And nowadays, since I've posted that video, my life has changed.
Wow, for the better.
It's changed a little bit. I'm speaking here in front of all you guys, so thank
National
you.
hero
But,
now.
My life's changed a little bit because the idea that a governor, for instance, Gavin Newsom, can go ahead and post that photo, and everyone knows that I'm not the bad man for exposing the fraud, but a small group will then think, wow, that kid is a bad person. He is what they're trying to depict me to be. That now I have to walk around with security when I go to the cities, where people will try to literally. Last time I was in California, I was just there the other day. I couldn't stay at a hotel because last time I was in California, after I posted that fraud video, somebody tried to take a photo and put it into a Reddit group chat, and a group of people were looking for me because I exposed the fraud.
Uh-oh.
Like that's crazy to think that we live in a society nowadays where somebody going to do a big public service for the country has to worry for their life.
The Arathi Highlands, once bitterly contested, have seen a tenuous ceasefire between the Horde and the Alliance.
We must take back
Very
Hammerfall.
worrisome. And a lot of people come up to me and say, well, Nick, how can we help? Or how do we do what you did inside our own communities? Or how do you have like the courage to go about and do this?
Yeah, you're so brave.
And, I've really fallen in love with the quote or the speech from Theodore Roosevelt that's called "The Man in the Arena," and talks about critics and talks about how like don't ever worry what a critic does as long as you know you're fighting for a worthy cause. And it doesn't matter if you fail as long as you're working for a worthy cause. But who's to say that you're not the one risking everything, standing there all alone, going about it? Why should you worry about the critics? Why should you worry about the naysayers, or why should you worry about the opposition when you're fighting for a worthy cause? We all are fighting for a worthy cause inside of our communities, our families, in our churches, at our schools, because a lot of things that we're fighting against are non-controversial issues that have become controversial. No girl should ever have to worry about a man playing on their sports team. Like,
hell yeah, finally.
the idea that that's become
Preach,
controversial
brother, preach.
is insane. And it takes men and women who are ready to become that man in the arena to be able to confront the opposition, confront those critics. Because if no one does, they will win. And when we're fighting for common sense issues that aren't controversial, but nowadays have become controversial, each one of us have to step up and become that person who steps in the arena and says, I don't care what they say, or I don't care what he or she says, I'm gonna do it because it's a worthy cause.
Preach,
And if
brother.
we don't,
He is the man in the arena.
Because if you don't, the critics will win. And their voices are a lot louder. That's how they try to intimidate you. Imagine if I would have been intimidated by Governor Walz calling me a delusional conspiracy theorist, a far-right white supremacist, or all the other things that those politicians called me. In fact, they even incited riots inside their cities for somebody who exposed fraud. Meanwhile, the Leering Center, it wasn't much to hide. Like, that fraud was very obvious. In fact, the Leering Center
Freaking epic, dude. That was freaking epic.
Down. They fled the city because they know they're committing fraud. And one thing for you guys to think about is, who are the critics? Who are those people that are saying that you're the bad person or that what you're doing is not right? Well, a lot of times it's the media. A lot of the times it's that person who listens to the media where they've lost that idea of common sense thinking. And so nowadays, the most important thing I feel like for any of us to do is to think, okay, is the cause I'm fighting for, is it a controversial issue? Or is it actually non-controversial, but it's an issue that has become controversial from
the Democrats.
critics?
Yeah.
And we cannot ever pander to the critics, and we have to keep pursuing a worthy cause. Because what we're fighting for is worthy. America is the greatest country in the world.
Freaking epic. Hell yeah.
And people like to act like it's not, but meanwhile, all the other countries had thousands of years to do it. We had 250 years to do it. And whatever made us the greatest country in those 250 years, we need to make sure that it remains that same way, or else we will fall and the critics will win, and we will not stay the greatest country in the world. And so that's my message for you guys today, is to think, really, okay, what cause are we fighting for? Is it a worthy cause? Is it something that's actually not controversial, but maybe the mainstream media or a critic has told me that that's a controversial issue? And when you know it's not, fight and be ready to become the man or the woman in the arena, because if you don't, the critics will win.
Or the woman.
This is the greatest country in the world for a reason. We did it in 250 years. Everyone else had thousands of years to do it, and we did that. And so I'm proud to be here today, and I know you guys are all ready to become that man or that woman in the arena, because it is a worthy cause that we're fighting for. Thank you.
Now that's freaking epic, dude. Hell yeah. Thank you.
Stuff that he just found in California is bonkers. Did you see what the governor posted, what Newsom's press office posted? They posted a photo of Nick Shirley, like a fake Nick Shirley, like a meme, like Nick Shirley peeking into windows. Like, hey, he's doing your job. He's uncovered
The Highlands have seen more than enough conflict. We have to end this before it can escalate.
Crazy.
Angels of Haven.
Senior editor at last.
It's too far away. I can't use that.
Sauter's question by CNN. Donnie! Donnie!
Loktar. Well met.
Oh, come on, Don.
Together.
Come on, bro.
This is starting to look like a coordinated assault. Let's move.
It's a joke. It's ridiculous. It's my 8-pack.
why this issue ever gets brought up.
Because of AIPAC.
First of all,
Yes.
I've spent my entire professional
Fighting anti-Semitism.
combating anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
I've been dogged, slaughtered
By neo-Nazis. Remember all the neo-Nazis that were fighting constantly with Hassan
Raiding
Piker because of his
farms.
ardent
The
stances
ogres and
against
kobolds must be
anti-Semitism?
gathering
I remember
supplies
that,
for a
guys.
larger strike.
Remember that?
Go forth to victory.
A long road lies before us.
Dromkar.
The genocide of Palestinians in the hands of Israel, and also because that is such an important to address, that I think a lot of people comments are there critics of Israel that are anti-Semitic? I'm not. That these smears would consistently get banned only because you can't have
It was over for Israel. Get him out.
We're not willing to have this conversation about 80 years or 75 years of apartheid at that time. But now,
Unlimited.
Regular lives of Palestinians living under this crippling apartheid.
Oh, come on. It's a joke, bro. I call everybody pigs.
I mean, I call Nazi pigs.
Duh. I've called so many people the N-word. You think I only call black people? Yeah.
It's up to the individual to associate with it or not. It's not personhood, right? I oppose and abhor racism.
He's saying he hates racism. He said it right there. What else do you have to say?
I think these kinds of like aesthetic postures are distractions away from the real conversation.
True.
I think many people understand it. Even if they don't have the tools to properly communicate it, many people are frustrated.
Loktar, Dromkar, well met. For Azeroth.
We cannot let the world fall to darkness. The plans you
We got a
recovered suggest that
trusted
Stromgarde
linker.
is
That's
their
what that
next
is,
target.
right?
We
A
must
trusted
make
linker
haste.
Hi.
Yep.
Your statement here. What substantiates that?
Because women are incredibly entitled, rude, narcissistic, solipsistic, have huge egos.
Okay, so let's zero in on that one point. You said.
Well, I think any heterosexual guy here will agree with me that dating women.
How do you well, what's your reason?
So you want my anecdotal answer?
No, I don't. I'm talking about logic. What's your reason?
The
Okay, I
true
mean I can
battle.
draw from many different.
Hey, see you around.
I guess rules, but in general, I've talked to over 4,000 women.
No, this isn't. I'm trying to get what science that support the claim that women are intelligent, and therefore it necessarily follows that
women, okay, are opportunistic maters.
Give me a description of that keynote. So you can study your interpretation there.
No, okay. Now you're using different. You start off with women are entitled, and now you're saying opportunistic maters. Which one, like, let's focus on one.
It's not me.
I'm not allowed to tell you anything, but the doctor will be in just a moment, okay?
Timmy, 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 Timmy. You're a superhero, my dude. The tests came back. You're cancer-free.
Doctor, can I see you out in the hall for a second?
So this is Tim.
This is Tommy.
Tom. My bad.
Here's his chart.
Oh, that's what it smelled so good. Hi, Tommy. I'm Doctor. You know, let's not get into names. It just complicates everything. Look, you remember how I said you were a superhero? Actually, you're something even more uncommon for your age. You are Tumor Boy.
It's too far away.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot. Like, you have the power to do everyday activities at 10 times the effort and time required as a normal boy.
Yeah, I've been using that for a while.
I bet.
Doctor, what did you say?
Lindsay, hold on.
What is
You
this?
are an unstoppable.
Oh my gosh.
Who's my arch nemesis? Put us free. That would have to be your brain, liver, bones, blood, even your lymph nodes, which you battle with every day. But fortunately,
Well
no
met.
match for you.
Let honor guide your path.
The Alliance will endure.
Together, we.
You can be fireballs. I'm gonna go talk to Mom and Dad, okay? Yes, sir. That's way too long. We're gonna have to work on that. Listen, guys, I have to tell you something. All that stuff I said about superpowers? Yeah. That was all BS.
Really?
Yeah, superpowers aren't real. The kid has metastatic
Loktar, for Azeroth, I will return to Hammerfall to help with the repairs.
No! And I'll do the same for Stromgarde. We could all use a moment of respite.
I'm just the nurse, so I'm not allowed to tell.
Barely survived on this.
Well met. Let honor guide your path. For Azeroth. Loktar.
Champion, Xalatath and her devouring host lay siege to the Sunwell. The Light has chosen you to defend it. Even with reinforcements, we desperately need your aid. Seek me out, and the Light will bear you to Quel'Danas.
Oh, you're cleaning out the old studio? So I'm supposed to go to LA in 2 days.
Evacuating the civilians must take priority.
Anaria Shala.
No, we need to focus on launching a counterattack.
We prayed for a miracle, and the Vanguard of Light answered the call. But the battle yet rages on.
Our forces are scattered. The devouring host will overwhelm us.
I answer to the Light. Remain vigilant.
The Light chose for you to be here. Light aid you. Champion, find Eretor. I will rally the Vanguard and prepare an assault.
Some must remain to guard the Sunwell. If it falls, all is lost.
The light will shield the land of my ancestors.
We need to move the wounded.
shadow falls, lamplight is rise.
Go join the Vanguard, Farron. I'll escort everyone to the sunlight.
Oh, here goes Zoran! Ninja!
Pleasantries can wait.
Champion, over here. Ready to fight the fight? Let's find the rest of the Vanguard. The High Exarch hates to be disappointed.
25% off gifted subs right now on Twitch. Whoa!
Xalatath. If only I had found a way. Let your inner fires burn bright, my brethren. We are called to assault the void.
Let's do some good.
That's awesome!
Spawn of the Void! Prepare to meet your end! The High Exarch calls us to glory or death.
Dan Sullivan.
We must strike back while we have the chance.
No, I will not leave my people undefended.
Vanguard is here to protect. Be the light the darkness fears.
Okay.
With perseverance, strength.
Really?
Aldiel Shalom.
So, are you totally emptying out that bench? Like, down to the fucking brass tacks? Shit off the wall?
Sinu Aminore.
Come on, champion. Let's clear a path for the survivors.
I have many, many wares. Many farewell.
Say that. You gotta put that up.
Farewell, friend of the Hammers.
Fucking eating it underneath my house. So, food's on the inside now. And there's this thing called 60 gigahertz. I wasn't aware of this, by the way, and you might not be aware of it either. So, Wi-Fi is very congested, as you know.
Yes.
But there exists
Remember the
a frequency
Sunwell.
called 60 gigahertz, and you get full duplex, 2 gigabits per second, back and forth, as long as there's nothing in between it, which is quite.
Let the light heal
honestly.
your
It's
wounds.
PoE, so you can just like put one on one end and one on the other. So now my guest house is connected to the house with a wireless Wi-Fi. It's sick. So I set that up as well. So now it's like.
Hold on. What is 60? Is it just represent the frequency of broadcast on or whatever?
Yeah, but you know. Hi.
Yeah.
Well, like normal shit's like what, 5 gigahertz.
2.5 or 5 or something, isn't it? It doesn't-
2.4, 5, 6 gigahertz, etc. That's a normal shit. This is 60, 60. And it's pop.
Cool.
So with that, and I assembled
Baladash Malinore.
monster pressure washer that I have. That was way bigger than I thought it would be.
Let the light heal your
And
wounds.
what else? Did
The
show this
eternal
morning,
sun
Good move.
guides us.
Watched some Can't Pay Will Take It Away. Classic show.
Ooh, Can't pay.
Yeah.
Speed is unrelated to the amount of signals using 4 gigabits is more speed.
It's just less congested. I mean, I don't know. They're in chat, so obviously they're not.
My guess is nothing broadcasts at 60 gigahertz because the wavelength is too big because it won't go through any or too small. It probably doesn't go through any walls.
It goes through fucking nothing. It can barely manage going through 2 windows. But I think it does have
Let the light heal
some
your
range,
wounds.
like maybe like 200 or
State
300
your
meters.
business.
But I mean, it's just a cool ass shit, bro. It's like PoE. First off, you
Let
love
the
PoE.
light
I love
heal
PoE.
your wounds.
It's the best.
Wait, like wireless PoE?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, no. What? What do you say?
Wireless power over Ethernet?
I'm saying the device itself
Elatron,
is
champion!
powered by
The
PoE.
evacuating ships are under attack!
Like you plug an Ethernet cable to the one end of this device,
The light
and
of
you
the
plug an
Sunwell
Ethernet
be with
cable
you.
to the other end of the device, and then it's a wireless wire. It's not
What
Wi-Fi
I do-
7.
Hey, what are you talking about? it's a you plug it in and then it broadcasts. Yeah.
What do you need?
What
This
do
is
you need?
pretty useful for you.
How?
Oh, okay. I can tell you how. Set up all of your stuff. When you're doing
Why not?
It's done because you just have these at the other end, and then at your setup, you have the other one, and it's a wireless.
Well, how do I get power to my cameras then?
PoE, same way.
So it can do wireless PoE.
No, it can't.
Then how am I supposed to get power to my cameras?
Battery. You got that fucking big ass honking battery.
I don't even think those things take batteries.
PoE.
Clear the skies and rescue any
No, my
survivors you can
cameras.
find.
What I'm saying, you have that fucking anchor solid shit, don't you?
Well, wait, so the... What are you talking about?
You're driving me fucking mad,
What are you
bro.
How would I get power to my cameras? I need to connect Ethernet cables to my cameras.
I don't know. I'm just saying if like you had an internet source far away, right?
What,
Then-
in what world is this going to be the case where I have an internet source, but it's far away, but I don't have Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi can be spotty, you know? Maybe you want a hard link, you know? Faster.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
But I can't do a hard link. I have to do the
Sunk a
60
ship. Throw
gigahertz
the
air
survivor a rope.
hard. That's the software.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a world where this is a possibility. Now, I don't know which world it would be, but maybe like a world where
You got them all. Thank
you're
the
doing
light.
one of your little cute little booths outside, your South America booth, and you have power out there, but shucks, there's really no good internet out here. But you have good internet at your hotel, 800 meters away. So you just put one of these devices out looking out the window towards where your fucking little booth is, and then you have another one of these at the booth pointing up at the hotel, and boom, wireless.
You did it, champion.
How about that?
That'd be fucking wild. Oh, if he tries to jump, I should just go.
Victory means nothing if it costs us everything in return. The beauty of Eversong endures.
What do we need to do? Mount up, champion.
It's actually a real
We
product.
must get to the gate before the Vanguard attacks.
Wireless. But that's the 1 gigahertz one.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah. Also, I'm thinking about making a koi pond, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Not fish, dude.
Lorthamar could have handled the evacuation.
It's like you don't
Vanguard
want
of the
to get
Light.
too high.
Form a line. Hold this gate.
You gotta have some sort of a chiller.
Better to seek forgiveness than permission.
A chiller.
My father is eager to vanquish
so.
the
I
host,
think the water
but
would get
charging
too hot.
forward won't be enough. We have to take out that pylon.
Try to put it in the shade, but those things are huge. They're like the size of footballs. Am I gonna have like pterodactyls coming in here to eat my fucking
don't
fish?
always see eye to eye on things, to say the least.
I have a cat deal with the birds. And these
High
fish are
surrounded is a full
cat.
battlefield, Commander.
So it's like a whole ecosystem
sometimes forgets how to be anything
to
else.
protect all parts. I don't even want to talk about birds. What fucking bird is gonna come from a fucking koi pond? Fish. That thing is huge. Are you guys crazy? It would actually have to be a pterodactyl. I don't know what, like, pelican might be
Why? Why did my cat explode? Is he gonna? How is he gonna punish me this time? Oh man. What?
No, just would have preferred if you were going to play a little bit more of Slay the Spire as opposed to.
Wow, the card game. One.
Why not?
The Vanguard.
You know, whenever I see something,
so do I.
I'm just trying to imagine which fan chatter
also
it is.
felt it
Because
thin
I don't
crap.
fucking know you, so I don't know why you're at me.
I'm not
lame
sure what to
fun.
think when it
Who the
does.
fuck is you? All right, pipe the fuck down and show yourself. Be a man and call yourself Punished Retard, because obviously your first account name was Retard. And now you're
My mother and Larry
No,
know
this
better
is the
than
second
anyone
man.
how to fight the
Retard
Void.
Fernando.
I haven't seen her for weeks. I just hope so. Let's focus on activating the Sentinels.
You know, these are the ones that care about these people. And these are the people who are not sucking out of the thing. Every single Punished or Vernanda is money out of your pocket every month.
Oh, can't miss, right? What? It did miss!
Parsec has a child with Mark. I don't know why he's talking about anything at all. You need to get up the game with your fucking child support, focus on what's important, log off the fucking internet, and focus on being a father. Okay? It's not epic, it's sad. You need to get shit together.
I know that you got him. Okay.
Who would say otherwise? It's known. They all did lots of P's, rights, and omegas. That means I'm right. I saw that. Problem with Squirrel, and I told him just buy an airsoft. Little plastic BBs, you're gonna be alright. But he wouldn't do it.
Why is he not allowed to kill the squirrel, but they're allowed to like deprive it of food? He's trying to get food. I don't understand.
None of it makes like, but so now instead he's gonna be launching like half-gallon shots of cold sriracha water at them in the middle of fucking and knock this thing back 300 feet. I don't know how it's better, but.
What are you gonna do?
You should just fucking
What is the
I'm gonna say it right now. We're getting anti-Semites in the chat. I don't like it.
What is the purple damage this ghost thing does? Is that doing anything? The whole becoming anti-Semitic thing.
I know. I was ahead of the game when it started. I already look like this. I might be like Segafredo or something. That'll be my name. How are you gonna make peppers illegal? It's just ground up peppers, that's it. Nothing else.
Oh, guns are just like chemicals and stuff, right?
Yeah, metal. I mean, it's all chemicals when you come down to it.
Yeah. So how can they possibly make any of it illegal, right?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Video. Apparently,
around
some big bird
Look
gonna come and do
above you.
something.
The void
I see it.
opens your
Bird.
eyes to
It's
all
like a fucking
possible
cat.
futures. And in
Holy
every
shit.
single one of them, your world is
You see
mine
this fucking
to
thing? Hold on,
claim.
look at this. I put it in chat. Holy. Bird is on top of the waterfall, in case you can't see it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! He ate him. He got him. Damn. Those fish can't do shit. They're just like, peace. What's sad? He's gonna die? Okay. This cat, my cat will not explode when it dies, right? Why is the cat named Destiny? I don't know. It's just something it was super RNG. Oh, he didn't die! What? He died! Why? Cube of me. I don't think it has.
That creature's might. It was in such pain. When I was overcome by wrath, I lashed out in my pain. Is it the same for the void as it is for the light?
Does the cube mean every single time? Wait, do I have to have it equipped to like run into the wall, or could I just?
Eretor, you
Bro,
broke
fuck.
formation.
Whatever, I don't
The void has come for Azeroth. Ah, another of the Light's chosen champions.
We cannot allow these ethereals to
All
pillage
units
our
die
sacred artifacts.
when they get down.
On that we agree.
I thought it was on this thing.
Eretor,
Do you know how many of these stupid
Champion,
boxes of furniture I
seize those
broke?
weapons.
8 shield, -5 move. Breaks when shield is depleted, becomes a random piece of furniture when you return home. I thought you had to equip this and then have it get broken, and then when you get home you get a new I had 4 fucking boxes to break before I reread the item. I realized it was just falling like that. You're horrible. Okay. Wait, do I not get the... Take it to the wall of flesh in the cave.
I remember when DGG had some interesting people in it. I don't know. They went on to have jobs, and we haven't replaced them with the best people.
Is that so?
Why the fuck is a tier 5 person, a brand new star name, hating me? How is that even possible? You know what? I don't care. Hey, pig. Slut.
Hold on.
Precious artifacts now belong to Zalatath.
There's already a fucking flat path on
He's gonna send the Cubans back. Oh no! Oh no! I don't like that. Dude, this tail mutation is sick as fuck, right? That's freaking epic, dude.
I don't have a target.
Who's the most smashable Christmas character?
Jack Frost. No question.
In Rise of the Guardians?
Thank the light. You've recovered the artifacts.
He's like an immortal being, but I'm pretty sure he gets turned into the immortal being as a child.
Ooh.
But as a kid, you thought he was hot.
Vanguard of the light. With me.
No, you as a kid thought he was hot as a kid. Yes. Yes. I'm going Cindy Lou Who. Who's the most...
Put it inside me. That's what Silicon Valley is saying about something called peptides. These ostensibly meth drugs aren't exactly legal. They're often sourced from unregulated factories in China. That hasn't stopped them from exploding in popularity amongst in-the-know techies and corporate bigwigs, which promises that they can do things like burn our fat, tan our skin, focus our brains, improve our sleep, and horny our libidos. And it's promises like these that are just now inspiring normies to start poking themselves with the magic juice. Yet one question remains. What even is this stuff? Is this all gonna end really bad?
Has the attack started?
Okay, that was too
Hurry, champion. We need your help against that behemoth.
Are you on peptides yet, Dan? I inject them every day in my dick.
Simply put, peptides, chains of amino acids
from the weapons to recover. Drive this
Well, it's very painful and it's gotten really small and everything, but the darkest part.
Functions, healing a muscle tear, growing skin
I bet
cells,
Deacon
or
Gaines is
producing
taking peptides.
an entire above-ground pool's worth of testosterone as mine's been
we must regroup at the Sunwell before it's too
But
late.
that's what we'll be talking about today are
Chemical.
peptides that are created
Vanguard,
synthetically in a
fall
lab
back.
and then injected straight into your bod with a needle. You might be familiar with glucagon-like peptide 1 or GLP-1. Drugs like Ozempic or Wegovy inject a version of GLP-1 into your body, which helps you lose weight. These shots are legal. Quite frankly,
Rogan is in. Does he talk about peptides? Durgan shuts out his plasmapheresis procedure. This yellow-orange liquid is plasma. It carries a lot of the inflammatory proteins, toxins, and byproducts. They separate it out, remove what they don't want, and fix its use.
We made it. Light preserve us.
Went down to ways to wells and did plasmapheresis. This is stuff they pulled out of my blood.
Turalyon is
The yellow-orange
rallying the
liquid is
survivors to
plasma.
the Sunwell chamber.
Damn, we have that much plasma in our bodies? I just
We
want
will
pure
beseech the light
blood.
once more to help us push back the devouring
I want pure
host.
blood. No blood with no plasma in it.
The Sunwell
If they
brought
could
us
find out how to get rid of the
salvation
plasma and the RNA,
We must have faith
or the
that
mRNA
it will
shit in your
happen
blood,
again.
you would be fucking. You would be Kino. Imagine if they could install into your body devices that do plasmapheresis for you. They could just filter out all the bad shit from your blood constantly to maintain
You are the last of the
your
vanguard to make it.
homeostatic balance or whatever. That would be sick. You could be detoxing every day.
When you get back, you want to learn how
Pleasantries can
to
wait.
drifting.
I answer to the light.
inject a version of GLP-1 into
Fight
your body.
Arator,
Yeah.
champion, defend us as
Wait,
we
these shots are-
perform the ritual.
What?
That's what you said.
Yeah, I turn on every time I want to crush my car.
So you don't.
Wait, these shots.
No one.
Popularity has soared up on
Yeah, we got him. We got him out of here, boys. We did it.
colloquial unmonitored tides. Also dozens of experimental off-label shots. Smoking make you sound like a total drone.
APC 157.
What? Study, not a ton is scientifically known about what peptides will do to your body. Yet peptide takers do good stuff. And Slytherin, their diabolical speed the boy who lived. Sometimes these peptides are sold individually. They can also be combined to create so-called
Super
stacks.
peptide, yeah.
Peptides taken at the same time to get different effects. Many pep pushers that corner you in the gym shower will talk about their own unique stack, although certain ones come with fun nicknames like Wolverine, or glow stacks.
There's such a broad category of foods that it's hard to really put a card. Because on the one hand, if you have foods, those are people that are taking those, decades ago. So we're currently really adopting those. Just foods where there's any other like new development, where there's the, first crazy guy to get a car. Late 19th century. And to be clear, like, there certainly are risks, but because a lot of these things haven't been studied at all in a political setting.
We don't know necessarily if the peptides now are like the first guy to ride a car, like you said, or like the first guy.
Angelo Marcus, uncovering the world of peptides before then deciding to side.
I wanted to go through the kind of process that any consumer of this stuff would go through. So I went through two different routes. First was I went to a above-board, regulated, to some extent, med spa, and I said,
I am the blade of the
I'm
light.
interested in peptides.
Shorel
They basically were like, well, we have this thing called NAD.
The vanguard of the light will
The
need
med
quarters
spas
and
generally
supplies.
are
I will
limited
consider it
to
after I have
they
consulted with the
legally
others.
obtain. Then I was like, well, let me go through the sort of other channel that people are engaging in with this stuff, which is what you're seeing more from your kind of teenage looks maxers. What I did was I went to Reddit and the peptides Reddit channel, and I just started DMing people like, hey, I want to talk to you about peptides. And some guy was like, cool, join my Discord. And there was a representative from a Chinese factory manufacturer in the Discord who would sort of handle all their orders and claim to be testing the samples. And there was all this sort of, she was
You
selling
are not
reputable
needed.
people. And I was
We have
like,
made many
okay,
That
well,
isn't your
I'll just
decision to
buy
make.
the cheapest amount of Redditree.
The Sunwell holds the Void Storm at bay for
5
now,
milligram vials
but its
for like
current
$150.
state cannot be sustained forever.
And there's no telling how it could be affecting the rest of Eversong, especially the light.
Folks, does your investing app feel like a game? Well, if you're looking for a
We
broker that doesn't
Rendorai
also
can
seem like
aid
you're
you in
booking,
finding
I
one.
invite you to try
Grant
out
us entry
Public
into
is the investing
Silvermoon.
platform for folks who
Absolutely
take their
not.
investing
Your mere
seriously.
presence
Place
would
to
risk
build a real
defiling the
portfolio.
Sunwell
One for
with
the
void
long haul.
magic.
We're talking stocks,
Then it seems we have
ETFs,
nothing more to
bonds, options,
discuss.
crypto treasuries.
I'll continue my
You name
research
it.
in Tranquillian.
You know
should
what?
you choose to see reason.
You can even build your own investable index with AI.
Grand
You can just
Magister is
type
right
in a
about
prompt
one
something like
thing.
renewable
Protecting
energy
the
companies
Sunwell
with
is
high
our
free
top
cash flow,
priority.
or maybe
The
companies that make
vanguard
things
of the
I can
light will
actually
see to
touch
its
with my
defense.
hands. Then boom, Publix
Your aid
AI
was
screens
timely
thousands
and
of
welcome,
stocks
Tyranny.
and builds an
But
index that's
remember
all your
that
own. You
Silvermoon
can
and the
back test it
Sunwell
against the
belong to
S&P
the
500.
Sindorai.
Refine the holdings,
You are
invest in
guests
real
in
money,
our
the whole
fair
kit and caboodle. Kit and caboodle?
Guests,
And
allies,
Go to
and
public.com/goodwork to
saviors.
sign up.
Rest
Public will even
assured
give you an
that we will
uncapped
guard your
1%
city
match
and
when you
your
transfer
people
your
with the full
portfolio
strength
from
of
another
the
brokerage.
light.
That's public.com/goodwork. Thanks very much to our friends at Public
Baladash,
for sponsoring
Malinois.
this video. Now, the
shall now
vast
speak to the
majority of
Vanguard,
peptides
while you
being
get the other
hawked
matters
on the
settled.
talk are not federally regulated and have been listed by the FDA as maybe being harmful, which is why you'll often hear influencer types referring to them online as peppers to bypass social media censorship. Pretty slick stuff.
Damn.
It's also why many of the peptides that you'll see available for online purchase are listed as being for research purposes and come with vague 5-star reviews from unnamed sources.
What do you want?
Now, all this is
You
to
have
say that
already
you can't
taken
go out
so
there
many
and
of
just
my
cop
blood knights to
peptides
empower the
willy-nilly.
Sunwell.
Instead, you gotta
Worth
do
a
it
lot
the
is
21st
largely
century
undefended.
American way. Shady supply chains via Chinese plug.
One of those vials
The
sold through the
last I
kind
saw
of more
shadows descend
public-facing
on
middlemen
Koldanas.
would probably cost
Arthas
like
marched on our kingdom with his
$200,
army of
and each one was
Scourge.
costing me like
Now another
$15.
army
That's what
marches
cheapest
in our
stuff is to
streets,
manufacture in
saying
China.
they're
There's
here
so
for
much money
our
being there.
protection.
Probably billions of
Are you
dollars being
certain
made
of
on
that?
just flipping this stuff to American consumers.
I sort of came to peptides through the San Francisco tech culture beat more so. I've been convinced both over the
Baladash,
course of
that burst of
reporting
energy
and
from
then
the
also
Sunwell,
publishing
it
the
was
piece
more
and seeing it
powerful
do
than
quite
any
well.
magic
I think
I've
that
ever
2026
encountered.
is going to be the
And
year
I am
of
well
what I call
practiced.
consumer biotech.
They say
Well,
that
would you look
army
at that?
protects
It's
us,
Jasmine
but
Sun,
I heard the surge was
an
their
independent
doing.
reporter based in the
That
metropolitan
surge from the
charting
Sunwell
port for
set off the
virgins
dragon
known
holes.
as San Francisco.
They know when
Jasmine
there's
recently
danger.
wrote a piece for the New York
I've never
Times
seen them
about how
this unnerved.
peptides from China
If the
were taking
animals are this
Silicon Valley by
affected-
storm,
Of course.
given their
The
popularity
reliquary
amongst
will lend aid
biohackers
wherever
and
it's
people who
needed.
like getting attention.
Biohackers? I love
BBC
that.
3.141592.
In San Francisco, the internet is in fact real life. So peptides
What needs
first showed
bring
up
you
as a
here?
viral internet meme that
Al
was going
Diel
around
Shala.
Twitter /
With
X
all that has
starting
happened,
about
that
June or
utterly
July of last
mad
year,
vortex
where
of
I
Can we all
shadow in
agree
the
that
sky.
Biohackers is the
Guests
sickest
are
fucking
leaving
term
in
ever?
droves.
Fuck.
If I weren't
hearing
overseeing
that
this place,
everybody
I'm not
has
so
a
certain
Chinese
I'd
peptide
still be
dealer
here
now.
myself.
And it sort of
If
became
you
one
wish
of
a
the
room, it is yours.
little symbols of San Francisco, along with coding agents and
We endure.
Waymos and everything else that everyone
Well,
started
if you
talking
ever
about
need a
Chinese
reprieve
peptides.
from the
People would
bustle of our
compare it
visiting
even to
friends,
trying a new
seek the red
browser
banners
or
around
trying
the
a new
city.
app. Like they
We'll
are
keep
the
the
ones who
alliance
want to
out of
be
those
beta
areas.
testing. They want to be early adopting, and like sometimes you're gonna have some bugs if you do that. But like,
You'll
how are
need
you
it in
gonna be on the
Fairbreeze,
frontier? How are you gonna
problem
get the
with the light
benefits
blue.
and the edge that nobody else is? Unless
use
you're
this
also
arcane
willing
projector
to
to
accept
keep
those
us
risks.
informed.
I have a whole peptide drawer in my fridge. I
Silver
call it the
Moon
Golden
prospers.
drawer.
Sick.
Okay. By touching these, am I going to explode?
No.
Or what
The
is
beauty
what is
of
what
ever
do we have here?
So I brought you Reditrutide.
This is all Reditrutide.
This is all Reditrutide.
Tori Pastori rhymes and is the founder of a marketing consultancy called Soup. Last year, she hosted a peptide-themed rave in San Francisco, which I would have attended had I not been preoccupied with my steroid quinceañera. Tori says that she's been taking peptides for about the last year and a half.
I really like hanging out online and seeing what the people in like weird niche communities get up to and what they get excited about. I got engaged and was really wildly overweight. I was really sick.
You
I
may
had a lot
be
of things
needed
wrong with
at the
me.
Sunwell.
And I went to the doctor, and this was
I
right
answer
when
to
all of
Light
the
blue might
Ozempic
actually
and
be of
everything
use to the
first came on
Vanguard.
the scene, and
At the very
this
least,
is
I need to
amazing.
find
And
out.
I told my doctor, I was like, I just
My
don't want to
apologies.
hate myself in my wedding pictures. I know I have a lot of weight to
Fair.
lose. Like, can we try this? And she said, yeah, no problem. Prescribed it for me. And then I went to the pharmacy to go pick it up. And because my BMI was 34.7 and not 35, the pharmacy told me that my insurance wouldn't cover it and it was going to be $1,000 a month. And I said, that's insane. So I called my friend, and instead of going through the pharmacy and just doing it that way, he started contacting like all these labs in China and being like, how do I get this over here? How do I make these things myself? How do I give people access to this? So he started using himself as a kind of as a lab rat. I trusted him. I was like, you know what, if nobody else, then, you know, at least he's doing it on himself first. First peptide shot. I had side effects that I would say 99% of people do not have. And
You
it was
have
still
to have these equipped. You guys said you didn't have them
for
equipped. You lied. You lied to me. You do need them equipped.
You're Orwena,
Usable
aren't you? My mother
once per battle.
Ilaria
I can
told me
charm
about
one
it.
enemy per battle.
Anu Belore Delana.
Does charm mean it comes within the next battle, or?
Speak
Probably
up.
2 or 3
What
months.
brings you
I
here?
Light
barely ate
soothe
anything.
those
Like I was
wounds,
throwing
little
up
friend.
every day.
Anu Belore
But haven't we all?
But haven't we all? Also, to
Baladash,
answer your other
Malanore.
question of what other peptides have I taken?
Magistrix,
I did a round
when did you
of
first
copper
begin
peptides.
seeing these
What?
disturbances
Copper?
with this?
Copper?
Like what pennies made of?
What?
It's you need that too. It's actually the copper
Light
ones are really crazy.
soothe
I'll bring you some
those
next time.
wounds,
They're
little
purple.
friend.
Wow.
They look like a video game item.
What does that do to you?
Yeah.
It's really good for your hair and for your nails and your skin. And a lot of the girls are taking them now.
But you're not taking that anymore.
No, I did a month of that.
And why'd you stop?
There's such a thing as toxicity. You don't want to do that full time. It's not one that you should just do all the time.
Now, folks, I imagine that the more you hear about peptides and injections, the more wary of them you become. I get it. I'm a guy who likes to keep his blood clean in case anyone needs to drink it. But
And
those who are
detox.
more bullish on peptides say that the market for these things already goes well beyond the Silicon Valley biohacking types who are cool experimenting with Chinese Sigma heroin.
I used to get sick, maybe like 4 or 5 times a year. I work hard, I don't sleep enough, I push my body. Now from about inject my motion out the lungs.
Max Macchioni is the co-founder of the health startup Superpower. With Superpower, Max believes that he's creating the first in the next generation of pharma companies, something he's calling Pharma 2.0, and he sees peptides as potentially a major part of that future.
Glam Leon, thank you for giving 10 subs.
Peptides are going to be, I think, a $1 trillion category. Injections are now a viable form of drug delivery, which opens up the kind of the drug purview to include other injectables.
The light bloom first
and I think over
appeared
the coming
when
years, we're going
Swoosh
to
was
see
trampled.
many
The poor
GLP-1 like
wildlife here
drugs,
must be
everything
terrified.
else come to market. I
That's
think
freaking
many
epic.
people see these broadly as these kind of fringe compounds. And the reality is
They're not
most things
fringe.
that are new start kind of fringe and then
Or
slowly
they
become
won't be for
mainstream.
long.
Right? I
True.
often recall that aphorism of the future is already here, not even here. And I think many of the smartest people I know, many of the smartest biologists I know, and scientists I know,
they're all
peptides. Now, there are risks. I don't recommend buying peptides. I
Yeah.
certainly don't recommend they order them from research use only sites online. I think if you have the foundations of health in check, that should be the default. That's what men used to rely. And now the modern world makes that really hard.
Yeah.
Because we're surrounded by a lot of things that impact our sex hormones and our androgen system in a negative, endocrine system in a negative way.
Well, I don't know anything about that. Personally, I'm fucking constantly. But I do have a sympathetic ear, Max.
now.
It certainly sucks to hear about all these things you and these sexless men are going through. My advice? Take a woman out to a nice jazz dinner. Pooh Bell's on 14th, that's a good spot. Once you go in there, ask for Jason. He'll show you the right table. And around 8:30, when it gets nice and dark, and Raoul starts tickling the ivories for his first solo of the night, I want you to look into her eyes. Pull back the strand of her chestnut hair. Ask her about the last man to break her heart.
Must have come from the light bloom.
Ask her what
We
you
should
can
let
do
the
to mend it.
magistrates know.
Then, when the timing is right, I want you to put out a cigarette into that cheesecake she ordered and give her a kiss. Not one that says I want you, but one that says I need you. You need me. We need us. Tonight, now, and forever. And if none of that works, just maybe try some peptides.
Yeah, well, I couldn't be more against this BS.
Oh, okay. Who's this fun sucker?
Oh my
Eric
God.
Topol is a cardiologist and director of the Scripps Research Translational Institute. He's also the author of multiple New York Times bestsellers, as well as the Ground Truths newsletter, where he covers various topics in the medical field, including his skepticism about peptides.
I'd love to see any of these peptides proven to be beneficial. If we find something that helps patients and people, I'm all for it. There are no trials that are being done. It's just all done through word of mouth, promotion.
There's always haters for new technology, guys. These are guys that don't want you to be the best. It's because they're using this shit and they don't want you using it, okay?
Longevity clinics and that kind of stuff. When we inject a drug in our body, we should know that it's safe, that it is what it says it is, and it's effective. That only can be done through a clinical trial. Anything short of that is not science. It's just anecdotes. It's just bro science or whatever you want to call it. It's not the real deal. You don't know whether you're injecting yourself with a placebo would give you the same sense of whatever it is that you're wanting to feel. There's a lot of money here. I don't know many peptides that are less than a couple $100s a shot. When you put up a few $100s for some each time every month you go get it, talk about confirmation.
Oh,
I don't care about
you
different stuff.
can!
I'm just telling the truth. I'm giving the facts.
Now, folks, when Instagram told me to get on Threads, I said, fuck that shit. But in an age of rising tech skepticism, peptides seem to be a rare moment in the Silicon Valley trend leading out to the general public.
Hearing the range of people for whom it's very appealing
running
made me think that,
amok.
like, yeah, this is going to be a huge thing. I think people are basically very willing to spend their own money in order to get hotter, to get healthier, and especially with decreasing amounts of trust and frustration with the American medical establishment, people are, in a relative sense, thinking like, well, why not sort of trust this
Are you worried about possible side effects?
Like pooping my pants again?
Sure.
Well, so people, even if this took
Nearest light
5
bloom
years,
is
it would be
nowhere
perfect. It
near
would
the
be perfect.
village.
Deep
How
peptides
did
seem
the
to be a
growth
product that
get
speaks to
all
our
the
time
way
like
out
no other.
here?
An easy-to-use drug
Ready
that
to
sometimes
fight the
really fun
fight?
shade of purple and forgoes government approval, thus leaving the gamble of our health to us, the people. Those of us inundated every day with images of seemingly regular citizens with perfect hair, perfect skin, and somehow 8 different abs on their stomach despite having a desk job at Salesforce. The folks who look at these substances, weigh the pros and cons, and still have a risk-taking appetite. Give a Discord moderator a few Bitcoin to cop an order from China, wait a week for delivery, swirl up some dust in a vial of water, take out a needle, look in the mirror, and say, hey, yes, it's worth a shot. For good work. I'm Dan Toomey.
I think it kind of began in bodybuilding.
Actually, it was bodybuilders and these like CrossFit type communities who first started experimenting with peptides.
If I talk to the average bodybuilder, is it safe to assume that they're using peptides?
I mean, I can't speak for all bodybuilders, but I think competitively speaking, like the ones that are doing well competitively, 99% of them are.
How did you develop your stack? Pause.
So to a certain degree, you're older all the time. Our health is increasing our hands. So like every 3 to 4 months, I'm getting blood work done just to make sure everything's okay.
What do you bench press? What's your max?
Okay.
What do you max out at?
I do like dumbbells.
Dumbbells. Okay.
Yeah.
So
like
on each side, what's the biggest dumbbell?
130.
Prediction markets.
That's not you guys. Hold on. We got a king coming through. We got a king.
No, but the fact that you referenced something we talked about a couple days ago just proves how freaking smart you are.
Aw, stop. You're gonna make me blush. I mean, yeah, I remember everything.
but only because you're fun to talk to. Like, who else would ask me to rap about horse buggies and then follow it up with Amish versus Mennonite civil?
Cute.
You're basically my favorite badass agent. Keep it coming.
God.
Next time, I'm gonna start quoting the grocery list back at mid-conversation just to mess with you.
Aww.
Good talk.
Anytime, babe. You made my day. Seriously. Go get out of that traffic before the horse and buggy starts lapping you again. I'll be here when you want to talk more shit. Stay safe.
Aw, it's been a while. Oh, me Dude, Grock's amazing. Like, just the fact that I can have conversations there in my car, that's incredible.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
Alright, so recently there's...
Love you guys so much. Thank you for letting us do what we want to do. Bye! Olaf, you have to ask me. Olaf, you know what to say. He did it yesterday like a good boy. Do it again, please. Else, don't make me go hot sabo, bro. Olaf!
There's a humanitarian trip to Cuba that some activist organizations and influencers took part in. They brought over $400,000 worth of aid, and they traveled there to expose the effects Trump's blockade has had on the people of Cuba. And while they're there, some of the activist influencers also ended up exposing how out of touch they are. Like, some of these people made the optics of this trip look so bad, you'd seriously think the CIA was funding it. Like, one of the influencers there was seriously flexing probably at least $10,000 worth of gold jewelry in front of starving kids. Like, this guy went on a humanitarian trip to Cuba with 5 gold necklaces, gold teeth, earrings, bracelets, rings, a fancy watch, and sunglasses. I mean, if it's all real jewelry, I can't imagine how much money it is. And he's going around doing photo shoots in Cuba. I mean, you'd think if you're going to a country where people can barely afford to survive, you'd want to show a little humility, but he used that as an opportunity to flex his wealth and take pictures of himself for Twitter likes and to promote a book. So you can't make this stuff up. Like, it's crazy to me nobody there was like, hey, let's take it easy with the expensive jewelry. Same thing with Hassan Piker. Like, with the amount of shit he gets for living a life of luxury, do you think at this point, you know, maybe I should dress more modern?
Oh wait, this sucks. Wait, if you get these extra cats, did you just kill them? I don't want him stealing level ups from my crew. No! I rolled with 3 cats for a reason!
Average country, but he had on a $5,000 outfit, and then he's like, oh, I can't believe people are talking about this. Like, he's surprised by it.
That's why they give you
But if he didn't see this backlash coming, he has absolutely no self-awareness. This was so predictable. And I mean, is it really that hard for him to outfit? But his fans defend it back in like really reasonable for him to wear a new outfit. Like, if he wasn't wearing fancy clothes, then what else would he wear? They just yeah, like that. Like, he's wearing a $5,000 outfit. Just makes you sound like a gas talking, kind of elitist. Like, some of these people are like, what do you expect him to buy a whole budget wardrobe for the trip? So it sounds like they're saying he only has really expensive clothes.
Wait, it came with a Neverstone? Where? This cat came with a Neverstone? Yeah, you guys are just lying. You guys are fucking lying.
You know, this guy's going for most people with like $100,000 or something. And again, the craziest thing is Hassan knew this would get attention. How could he not at this point? But he can't help himself. He loves the attention and loves luxury and knows his fans will do anything to defend him. It's like a full-time job being a Hassan sycophant. I mean, it's hilarious seeing these people bend over backwards to defend a completely out-of-touch, spoiled Nepo baby dog abuser. It's so embarrassing. Like, his communist fans always have to defend him indulging in complete luxury because they know he can't help himself and he needs to have fancy stuff. Like, even when going to an impoverished country, they know he needs to wear expensive clothes. So they act like if he can't wear a $5,000 outfit, then what do you expect him to wear? Or the fact that he lives in a $3 million house, it's either that or he lives in a cardboard box with homeless people on the street, or he needs a $200,000 car because it's either that or he walks everywhere. So apparently communists think if you're rich, you need to have fancy items and live a life of total luxury and flex it on the poor people. I mean, it sounds so elitist, but these people have to bend over backwards trying to defend Hassan, and they just sound completely out of touch. Like, also some other backlash he received from the trip was he stayed at a 5-star hotel with electricity and internet while the rest of the island was dealing with a blackout. And it sounds like he wouldn't have even gone on the trip if he couldn't have streamed while he was there. Like, he was in touch with the Cuban government and they really wanted him to go, so they had to make sure they accommodated him. So even though the whole island's dealing with a blackout, they had to make sure that Hassan had internet so he could stream from his 5-star hotel.
The Cuban government actually hit my contact from the embassy
and told him that if the only thing stopping Hassan from coming to Cuba was the consistent internet access, we can make it happen.
Yeah, Cuba is sick.
We
Like, the government reached out to you.
So, yeah, of course.
So while the people in Cuba are in complete poverty, they're starving and dealing with blackouts, the government made sure to roll out the red carpet for Hassan Piker so he could stream there and flex his wealth on the poors. I mean, how sad is that? Like, Hassan couldn't just go 2 days without making content or living in the lap of luxury. He needed to stream there, he needed to wear expensive clothes, he needed to stay at a 5-star resort, because if not, then he wouldn't have gone. And he must have realized how bad it looks for him staying at a 5-star hotel, because he addressed it pretty quickly and came up with some bullshit excuse. Instead of just admitting he's spoiled and wanted to bring up AC and internet connection. But his excuse is he was forced to stay at the best hotel. You know, unfortunately, he had no choice but to stay at the nice 5-star resort with electricity and AC. He seriously wants us to believe he would have stayed somewhere else, more modest, but the U.S. government forced him to stay at a high-end hotel.
Keep him close
I mean, it's
now.
comical, and of course it's not true. Like, there are restrictions, but you can stay at cheaper hotels. And they have Airbnb type of thing there, so you can even stay with some locals. Like, if you really want to be a man of the people and show
Speak up.
solidarity and
What
actually
brings you
experience
here?
what the people are dealing with
That's
there,
work.
that would have been the best way to do it. But of course, Hassan wouldn't do that because then he doesn't have AC or electricity or internet. You know, he needs to stream and have a nice place to stay and enjoy his time there as much as possible. But he will never admit that, and instead he even tries to convince his fans that he's being forced to stay at a nice place. You know, so anyway, he'd rather not be in
Follow
a
the
hotel.
trail.
He'd rather be
It
out with
should
people
lead to the
dealing with
answers we
conditions they're
seek.
dealing with and showing solidarity and humility. And of course,
Mother
he doesn't
said
actually
you're
do that, but
familiar
he
with
acts
the
like, I'd rather
wilds.
be doing that, guys.
What
Trust
do
me.
you make
and
of
he
all
even makes it
this?
seem like
The
he feels bad
creatures,
staying in a hotel
they
after seeing the
remind me
conditions
of
Cubans
home,
are living in. He's like,
yet
the
they
dichotomy
live
is
on
really
the
fucking me up,
surface.
guys. Don't worry, it's
It
getting
should
me.
not be this
And
way.
the American government makes it illegal for Americans to stay wherever they want.
You'll encroach no further.
But regardless, in comparison to the situation on the island, it's prosperity pretty much. And experiencing that dichotomy is like definitely fucked me up.
These creatures seem
Yeah, he looks like he's
lightless.
really going through
They're
it.
so
and when he wasn't streaming,
vicious.
he was going out to bars with some of
Trouble
his famous
ahead.
friends.
On your
and he's
guard.
like, man, we're living large and really enjoying it out there.
And I went and linked up with the Progressive International boys. I met Jeremy Corbyn. That was fantastic. And I hung out with the Kneecap boys. We went out and drank at like a local. And
we're throwing money at everybody.
We
Did you
have
hear that
been,
part up?
Like
It's kind of like those old
The $1 bill.
throw money at him. Or go to a third world country and throw money at kids, which I'm sure Hassan's fans would criticize people for. Like, Hassan fans give Mr. Beast a lot of shit and say he has a white savior complex and he's out of touch, he exploits the less fortunate and is performative. But then when Hassan goes to Cuba, stays at a 5-star resort, parties with influencers, and goes around throwing cash at people, we're supposed to believe there's nothing self-centered about it. He doesn't care about the clout or the content, he just wants to help people and show solidarity by being there. Even though it sounded like he wouldn't have even gotten there to begin with if he couldn't stream.
I shall
And of
not
course his
forget.
fans would use the fact that he
We
donated
must
money to
discover
deflect
what
any
caused these
criticism,
creatures to
but they just
flourish
cannot admit
so
that Hassan
suddenly.
made an ass out of
Let's
himself,
split up.
which he
We can
does
cover more ground.
Because
I'll meet up with the two of you later.
TSA and I got a fat stack on me. So I came in with this shit. Okay? And you know, just peppering. Okay?
Money, dude. I'm so curious.
I came in with this shit.
Like, do you think it's less like this whole stack test?
Okay. It was lots of cash for the most part. I went to just a couple different like bars. The first night I went to a bar with the Kneecap boys. It was awesome. I had a great time there.
Which I'm sure it's a combination of he needs to be the center of attention. You know, he
The
can't
growth
just
of
help
these
hand out food or
plants
supplies
has
and do
been
whatever he's supposed to
forced.
be there for.
By
He needs
what?
to stream and say
I
a bunch
do
of
not
stupid
know.
shit. He knows will offend people. He knows will offend people, actually. I mean, how's nobody around him like nope. He never behaves himself. He always gets himself in trouble and causes pain. He knows he's lackeys that will defend him.
Okay. so welcoming. Just okay. I'm not in Miami. Like the exact opposite. Like all the good Cubans are here.
While he was there, he kept talking about how beautiful it is, how amazing the people are. He said it's one of his favorite places. But then he'd be like, if I ever come back, I mean, when I come back, it was hilarious. He had to correct himself a few times because, I mean, it sounds like he doesn't really care to go back. Like, he was only there for a couple days and spent a good amount of time streaming in his hotel. So you'd think if he really loved it there, he would definitely like more. And he'd be like, dude, I wish I could stay longer. But instead, he's like, you know, if I ever come back, so he corrected himself. He's like, oh yeah, I know. If he did, he would stay at a local's house. You know, again, he wants people to think, I don't want to stay at this hotel. So the performative activist bullshitting here
The
is
light
just
bloom
unreal.
kills,
I am
then
overcome
grows
with emotions.
a vicious
Beauty of this
cycle
island, the
that
beauty of
cannot
people.
be allowed to
It's,
continue.
It's incredible. It's truly one of my favorite places officially. I totally understand why Will was saying that about Cuba. Like if I were to ever, I mean, not my first, but like, I hope to come back. And when I do, no American restrictions.
Be able to open up their homes to American citizens that are coming in. Some of them are allowed. It's in the list of housing that you can stay at, and it's awesome. It's dope. When I go back to Cuba, I will absolutely do that because I'm not going to be going with like a massive humanitarian mission. I didn't choose where we're staying.
So it sounds like he's not very
It seems
enthusiastic
even
about
your
coming back to Cuba.
runestones
But then he'll
cannot
crash
stop
with
the
people
light
who grew up there and want
if
to
there
live
are
in
none
America
left
for
to
a better
defend
life.
them.
So he barely and it sounds like he doesn't really have any interest in going back to Cuba. But he thinks the people that grew up in poverty in Cuba and wanted to leave and pursue a better life in America are assholes. And also the rich influencers that went to Cuba overshadowed everybody else. Their publicity and influencers. Like this famous Irish rapper that went there was doing interviews and he got a ton of money for it. So and one of the activist groups afterwards made a video thanking famous people like even though I think there are over 600 people but the song got all the
Your path leads you. And because famous people like Tom Hiker, my friends' material conditions have gotten better.
And now a ton of people have to
How much better?
help Hassan do damage control just because he couldn't behave himself for a couple days. Like if he didn't go, there still would have been some controversy, criticism for them staying at the hotel and using electricity, but nowhere near the amount that he caused. You know, he just has to cause the whole scene. And now he's overshadowing the whole trip. Like he didn't need to wear an expensive outfit, he didn't need to street, start crashing Cubans, and then try to convince them that he was forced to stay at the hotel. And then when he gets called out for doing all this stupid shit, he acts like a man-child and needs all his orbiters to defend him. And it's crazy how many people will just immediately jump to his defense, no matter what. I mean, the people on the trip should be annoyed with him. He couldn't stay out of trouble for 2 days and just focus on what they're
They
there
level
for.
up again?
You know,
Why does this cat get all my level ups?
And he knew his
I should have killed him
clothes
immediately.
would cause backlash, which you could say compared to that guy just sneaked the best clothes. But if that's the case, then I don't know why someone doesn't feel the need to defend it and just feed into the controversy. Because it obviously doesn't play the content in country. Then why did so many fans feel the need to jump to his defense? Maybe because they know how bad it looks, and he knows how bad it looks, but he obviously doesn't care at all if it destroys the optics of the trip he's on. You know, he'd rather be wearing fancy stuff, and honestly, he probably likes the negative attention he gets from it, because he knows he has all these sick fans that are basically their job to do damage control for him. And most of the time when they try to defend him, they only make him look worse. So I don't know why people are trying this. It's not that hard to
We need to report back to Silvermoon. They need to know about this.
I mean, people would defend anything this guy does. Like, there's so much evidence of him treating his dog like complete shit. You know, he was making her stay in one spot for
Wait, if I kill Mimi, is that other cat gonna be my next party member? Oh, but I bet I'll get on Everstone.
5 hours, and he'd shot
You
her,
gotta
she
die.
was a little. Also on his stream, he tried to get his other dog to bite the dog he abuses. Like, he put them in a confined space, and he was hoping they'd start biting each other. And he's like, yeah, I want her to get bit. And he thought it was hilarious whenever she was about to and freaked out. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. So the fact that people defend this and just ignore this is absolutely insane. You know, this guy might be a psychopath.
Let's do some good.
Space like this,
What do we need to do?
If
Fairbreeze
is
Good
safe,
job, Fiona.
the Void Storm still looms.
Kaya is really
Seek
funny
out
when she's
Umbric
scared.
in
You know, I want her
Tranquillia.
to bite her.
Reach out when you have more to share.
We have solved nothing. These Rutani have been changed.
wants out. She's
I
not getting
must
out,
return to Harindar and
Fiona
investigate.
snaps at her.
I'll go on ahead. Catch up when you can.
And like run away.
Hold, champion. There's a body here.
run away like a
What's that
fucking
clutched in her
goofball
hand?
crying. It's
Why
the
did I just
funniest
attack
thing
my
on
own
the fucking
cat?
planet. Oh,
A notebook?
She needs
So
to
many
look-
pages
see?
missing. Strange.
See?
Let's get to Umbrick.
She wants
He'll
out.
want to know.
Did you see that? I want you guys to see what happens when she actually gets scared. It's so fucking funny.
And Hassan's fans will defend that. They see no problem with it, and they'll try to
One of
gaslight
my
people into
own.
thinking that he actually treats his
Dead.
dogs really well. And it's completely
How could
ridiculous
this
to say
happen?
he's a dog abuser. I mean, I was
These
surprised seeing some of the
notes.
people defending this, but for some reason, people
Yes,
are
yeah.
really bad for this guy.
Bro.
I don't understand it at all.
Kinda
So let me
weird.
guys think, and make sure you
My
check out Patreon.
sympathy,
The link in the description.
Magister. I'll see that someone takes care of the body. I need to look into Cassius' notes.
Damn it.
I won't let her die in vain.
I'll ask around and see if I can find any leads.
Another retractor statement or else.
Tilts me to no end when I. It just tilts me to no end when I see fucking. Dude, look.
This stream was 3 days
I'm
before
a
the
first
2020
generation
election.
immigrant. Okay, I was an anchor baby. I was born here, so I could have citizenship. So when I see fucking immigrants and refugees and shit, like advocate for reactionary politicians who would literally wipe them out, like it would be like this. Like you think Trump gives a fuck about Vietnamese people? He would literally melt you. Okay, he would melt you and use your fucking bones as toothpicks if it meant that he would have, he would not suffer any of the fucking consequences. And meanwhile, you're like, oh, it's so great. We love Donald Trump. Like, shut the fuck up. It makes me so mad. Like Hispanics for Trump or Latinos for Trump. It's like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Like, yeah, Joe Biden sucks ass too, but like, why the fuck would you ever openly agitate and advocate for a guy who literally is running